chat. By the way, for the record, I have said hi. I have just said hi, howdy chat, and we already have limited monetization. I just want to say that. Yeah, good morning. Sorry, I showed up kind of late. My dumbass woke up late. And then I wanted to brush my teeth. And so I did. I brushed my teeth. And then I came over. And then I hit go at go time. Alright? It was 2:59. I was ready. And OBS was like, nah. Fuck you. And I was like, okay, shit, I'm sorry. I didn't realize we had an issue. But I guess we did. There you go. So then dots, and then close that. We're gonna open this. And haha, look at that. I even set stuff up. Look at that. I'm super quick. I was super ready. This is an ASMR stream. Can you guys hear me okay? Let's lower the BGM a little bit. Can you hear me whisper? Does it sound good though? Do she sound good though? I could also bring up the gain, which would make it extra fucking like crispy, like I'm inside of your fucking head, and along with all of the background noise. Is that too much? Church Latin hymns in the background for immersion for reading. Fuck. You get that for us. I'm always wary with what I put onto my videos sound-wise. Because I don't know like what is and what isn't, you know. By the way, if I sound like I've been smoking for like 20 fucking years, that's because my fucking lungs are full of gunk. I'll bring it up to here. This is the highest I'm willing to put it for you. Also, thank you for the bath towel redeem, you fucking T-gens. I hate you. There you go. I got the mic extra close now. You're all up in front of my mouth, chat. I'm right next to your ear. That's a bit too high. We hear the vibration from the PC. Is that better? Is this the spot? Do we figure it out? When are you streaming on your birthday? I'm not streaming on my birthday. I'm streaming the day after my birthday. And I'm streaming for 12 hours. Plus a karaoke. At midnight. I'm gonna start at 12 p.m. on the 21st. But I'm not gonna stream on the 20th. I'm gonna fucking disappear on the 20th. Sounds cleaner, I think. Good. Don't get fucking used to it. I'm not gonna be doing ASMR shit. Oh, wait. I
have something for you, chat. I've not had breakfast. So, breakfast, I have a package of crackers. We're gonna open them now.
My special mixtape will get you going.
Say ara ara. Wah!
Whoa, Warhammer.
Thank you. Thank you for the soup. And as for the ara ara. Ara ara. Ara ara. That's a difficult thing to whisper. I'm literally painting some sisters bottles right now. That's really cool.
Oh, hi. I just want to remind you to drink your fucking water today.
Can I get an awa awa?
Awa, awa. I don't have water today, but what I do have is I have a can of pussy. I'm gonna open it for you on stream. You guys ready to hear the pussy crack? Chat, are you ready to hear the pussy crack open? This might be the one time you'll ever hear a pussy opening in your life. Oh yeah. Ah, fuck yeah. It's sizzling. Fuck yeah. Fuck, that's good. Pussy first thing in the morning. Okay. Adepta Sororitas. The Emperor is our father and our guardian, but we must also guard the Emperor. Teachings of the Adepta Sororitas. What does that drink flavor come as? The flavor is passion fruit and lychee. Pretty good. The Adepta Sororitas, colloquially known as the Sisterhood, whose military arms is also known as the Sisters of Battle, and formerly as the Daughters of the Emperor, are an all-female division of the Imperium of Man's state church, known as the Ecclesiarchy, or more formally as the Adeptus Ministrum. My throat is all goopy, because I just woke up and I didn't properly clear my throat, and I haven't warmed up my voice. So it's all goopy in there, it's full of gunk. My sister is calling me Ree. Okay, sorry. I need to find out what my sister wants. My sister very rarely calls me. This is a rarity. Just wanted to answer. Keep reading. The Sisterhood's orders Sisterhood's orders militant serve as the Ecclesiarchy's armed forces, mercilessly rooting out spiritual corruption and heresy within humanity and every organization of the Adepta Terra. There is naturally some overlap between the duties of the Sisterhood and the Imperial Inquisition. For this reason, although the Inquisition and the Sisterhood remain entirely separate organizations, the orders militant of the Adepta Sororitas also act as the chamber militant of the Inquisition's Ordo Hereticus. I don't know what half this shit means. Let us continue. The Adepta Sororitas and the Sisters of Battle are commonly regarded as the same organization, but the latter title technically refers only to the orders militant of the Adepta Sororitas, the best known part of the organization to the Imperial public. The Sisterhood serves as a Ministerum's only official military force because the decree passive laid down by the reformist Ecclesiarch Sebastian Thor. His name is Thor, chat. Sebastian Thor held that in the wake of the Age of Apostasy's reign of blood, the 36th millennium, the Ecclesiarchy cannot maintain any men under arms. The Ecclesiarch of the Church doesn't allow male soldiers. That's kinda hot. Don't worry, neither do we. We just suicide charge the enemy. Cute Rosa. Wow, thank you. The Sisters of Battle are a loophole. Okay. I'll keep reading. This command was supposed to limit the power of the Ecclesiarchy by preventing it from maintaining. Sorry, I had to cough. From maintaining the massive armies of the faithful Frateris Templar it once used to abuse its power from the 32nd to the 36th millennia. However, the Adeptus Ministerum has been able to circumvent this decree with the subtle get scared because I can't hear 90% of what you're saying. That's valid. Can you guys actually hear me though? Can you always fucking hear me? I am caught between suddenly being scared and a tingling sensation brought upon by Rose's whispering voice. Why is she whispering always? Draconis, this is what is known as ASMR. It stands for, awesome. Awesome sound. Micro. I don't know. It's not important. Audio sensory? Something. I don't know. That's my guess. A little bit higher, please. If I put it any higher, you're gonna hear my PC. You're gonna hear my awesome snack making real content. Thank you, Tara. That's perfect.
I'm here. Behind you, look. Behind you.
I'm sorry in advance. Or if anyone used the blurb, they're probably gonna be kinda loud. Anyway. Where was I? Oh yeah, history. The Adepta Sororitas, also known as the Sisters of Battle, are an elite sisterhood of warriors raised from infancy to adore and worship the Emperor of mankind. Their fanatical devotion and unwavering spiritual purity is a bulwark against corruption, heresy, and alien attack. And once battle has been joined, they will stop at nothing until their armies are utterly crushed. Chat, they're hot. I'm reading the wiki. Arch sent me a fucking wiki link. This is all I've got, chat. This is what Arch sent me. Don't blame me, blame Arch. Give me a second, I hear noise in my kitchen. I'll be right back. Chat. I have good news, chat. I have been given tacos, which means you guys get ASMR taco munching. Taco crunching time.
Hey, yo, new sub.
Okay, stand up straight and get that posture right.
Posture checked. Inquisitor Sparrow. Wow. Welcome in. I've come in the middle of a taco break, so we have ASMR taco crunching.
hi. I just want to remind you to drink your fucking water today.
I will now drink pussy instead of water. As soon as I swallow. That's some good pussy chat. By the way, Rose, I'm working on a fan art of you fighting the bugs. That sounds cool. So afraid. Yes, sure, the Tyrant Taco, yep. Definitely not a Taco Bell taco. It's Tyrant Bell Taco. Okay. It's time to continue. Battle Sisters will strike through fire if need be. Their bolsters splitting staccato bursts of destruction every step of the way. Not even death can stay the wrath of the Adepta Sororitas. Indeed, the blood of martyrs only strengthens the resolve of Battle Sisters, spurring them to greater acts of heroism in the name of the honored fallen. Chat, they're so hot, what the fuck? I wanna burst in destruction when she steps on me, chat. White hair is always cool. It don't say. I can't wait to see the Ginny Sisterhood of Battle Art. Ginny already has the white hair. You scared the fuck out of me. You scared me so fucking bad. I was like, what the fuck happened now? For the Emperor. Wow. The Adeptus Ministerum, or the Ecclesiarchy, as it is generally known in the Imperium, is a sense to me. Like having a church to like praise someone that's like actually fucking alive and has accomplished things. Anyway, let's continue. The Sisters of Battle are the army of the Ecclesiarchy. Clad in ceramite power armor, they carry an awesome array of weaponry, with which to vanquish their enemies. The incredible wealth of the Ecclesiarchy ensures that they are equipped with the best war gear the Imperium has to offer. The Sisters of Battle are trained to the peak of human ability and stand amongst mankind's most dedicated and disciplined warriors. Wherever there are foes of the Emperor, the Sisters of Battle will be found fighting with faith and steel. When not actively prosecuting the Ecclesiarchy's wars, the Battle Sisters of the Order's Militant divide their time between rigorous training and devout worship of the God Emperor. They're so fucking hot. I was just going to warn you now, since they are so holy, certain people kill them. They can use their blood to bless their weapons. Don't be a sister, bro. I don't want to fucking be a sister. I want to fuck a sister. There's a difference. There's a fucking difference, chat. That sounds weird, but I mean a sister of battle, very specifically, not like a regular sister. No Alabama, chat. No Alabama. I have to clarify. I'm a fucking heretic, chat. I want a sister to fucking step on me and beat me up and murder me. That's what I want, chat. I want to have a very sexy fight with a sister of battle. Okay, that's what I want. I want to have a very epic fight with one, and I want her to push me to the ground and slit my throat while she sits on me. That's all I want, chat. I want her to run out of bullets, Jack. She can't fucking hit me. I want her to have to come in close. I want her to put that sword in my fucking stomach, Jack. Anyway. But that's the fucking point. Just fucking murdering me is the sexy part. Anyway, let's continue, sorry. Indeed, to the Adepta Sororitas, the disciplines are nigh inseparable, for whilst combat drills and studies of battle tactics can hone the body and the mind, only penitent prayer can bolster the spirit, and all three are required to defeat the Imperium's foes. The combination of combat doctrine and prayer is most evident on the battlefield, where battle sisters loudly proclaim their faith in him and verse as they march to war, calling upon the Emperor to aid them in the fight against their enemies. The intense, unquestioning nature of this faith is a potent weapon indeed, manifesting as divine inspiration that drives the Sororitas to unprecedented feats of martial prowess. Sisters of Battle, gripped with holy fervor, banish worldly fears from their minds, shrug off mortal wounds, and summon preternatural strength to smite their foes. The Sisters of Battle believe their faith to be a weapon stronger than any steel, and those who witness their battle miracles are left in no doubt that the spirit of the Emperor indeed walks with these pious warriors. Once battle has been joined, the Adepta Sororitas will stop at nothing until their enemies are utterly crushed. Crush me, mommy, please, holy shit. I want to be utterly crushed. Hold on, I gotta drink some fucking pussy. I'm all fucking drenched over here. I mean, thirsty, sorry. stratum in particular found its own powers greatly curtailed. For the Ministorm's tithes took precedence over its own raising of funds and resources, leaving little in the coffers to pay for the running of the secular components of the Imperium. The Administratum's political influence soon waned so far that the Ministorm was able to dictate policy in secular matters as well. The raising of deployment of armies, the prosecution of wars, the commitment of significant Imperium resources, and the appointment of sector lords all fell under the effective control of the Ministorum.
Don't fucking scare me like that, you fuck!
Sorry. I'm glad I made this live stream. What have I missed, and how close are you to becoming Arch's new acolyte, Rosa? I think that the Sisters of Battle are hot, and I want to be murdered by one. That's how I want to go out, chat. But anyway, alas, let us continue. Fuck, where was I? In time, other institutions began to distrust the Ministorm's power. Wait, is that where I was? Yeah. And the Adeptus Astartes and the Adeptus Mechanicus in particular became increasingly estranged from the Ministorum-dominated imperial government. As if the situation could not get any worse, the entire Imperium was soon plunged into even deeper despair. The incident of warp storms, a phenomenon that cuts off vast swaths of the Imperium's space from interstellar travel and communication, increased by an order of magnitude. The warp began to seethe with rolling energies which bled forth into real space, making travel between anything other than worlds in the same planetary system increasingly perilous. Central governance of the world's limited to periodic contact at the best of times entirely collapsed, where the black ships of the Adeptus Astra Telepathica were unable to get through. Entire populations fell to demonic incursion or enslaver domination. That's me, chat. I'm the demonic incursion. Civil war and anarchy beset the Imperium, with those planets that remained accessible being ruthlessly suppressed by the increasingly brutal Fraternus Templars. Seeing that their foes were tearing themselves apart, the myriad enemies of humanity struck. The traitor legion sallied forth from the Eye of Terror, using their own blasphemous sorceries to strike planets otherwise cut from the outside aid. Orcs, wow, traversed the warp in their ramshackle space hulks. Sorry, I lost my whisper. Uncaring where the tides of the Empyrean regurgitated them, and wreaking havoc in regions previously beyond their reach. The Drukari used their webway to freely navigate the galaxy, and struck wherever they desired, dragging millions of captives screaming to their infernal realm of Komorag, to suffer tortures and degradations beyond a sane man's imagination. The entire Imperium was gripped by an apocalyptic frenzy of doom and anarchy. Countless new sects sprung into being, many proclaiming that the God Emperor was enacting his final judgment upon mankind, and that the end times were at end. No world was untouched by the anarchy, as whole populations rose up in increasingly bizarre and extravagant acts of penance Anyone who dared attempt to reason with such doomsayers were declared heretics, and the world after world tore themselves apart in an orgy of bloodletting and violent penance. I fucking love that description. An orgy of bloodletting and violent penance. I shall continue. Onto this doom-laden stage stepped the insane Coach Van Dyer, 361st Master of the Administratum, a position he had attained by the ruthless application of bribes, threats, and outright assassination. A strident opponent of the Ministorum, Van Dyer had plotted against it for many standard years. Shortly after his ascension to the rank of High Lord, Van Dyer brought about the selection of a man. I'm trying to go from just like breathing out to like actually speaking, kind of. Let me know if that sounds better. A strident opponent of the Ministorum, Van Dyer had plotted against it for many years. For many standard years. Shortly before his ascension to the rank of High Lord, Van Dyer brought about the selection of a man of his own choosing to the head of the ecclesiarchy, ensuring that none could stand before his subsequent rise. As confidence in the new puppet ecclesiarch Paulus III plummeted due to his reputation for incompetence and venality, Coach Van Dyer made his move, taking control of the ecclesiarchy in a military coup d'etat orchestrated by Astra Militarum, officers under his control who simply executed Paulus III outright, claiming that his behavior proved that he was a heretic and made him unfit for his office. Better? Yeah, I figured. This voice sounds like a Mechanist Forge mistress. I see. Van Dyer then used the support of various Ministorum cardinals as he bribed and otherwise brought under his influence to immediately call a conclave that selected him as the new ecclesiarch, assuming the dual roles of ecclesiarch and master of the administratum to become the most powerful person in the Imperial of Man. Van Dyer succeeded ultimately only in driving the Imperium into the bitterest period of civil war and rebellion it had known since the Horus Heresy, remembered as the Reign of Blood. Daughters of the Emperor. Early in his tyrannical rule, Van Dyer's agents sent him word of a unique sisterhood of warrior women living on the little-known Agri world of San Leor. Hearing of their ascetic way of life, their utter dedication to the Emperor, and in particular their skills at arms, Van Dyer decided that he would make a formal visit to the secluded covenant of the Daughters of the Empire. The first inhabitants of San Leor knew about the state visit by the man who was the de facto lord of the Imperium, was when several thousand of his retainers marched into their simple towns and demanded they show the High Lord the utmost devotion on pain of death.
I'm gonna lower the
gain just a little bit. Oh. Images of these vast processions were recorded by the spy lenses of hundreds of servo skulls and disseminated across every world in the Imperium not cut off by the raging warp storms. the image of the High Lord Vandar being welcomed to San Lior became a staple of ecclesiarchy propaganda. When at last the vast cavalcade reached the gates of the convent in which the daughters of the Emperor resided, Vandar found them barred and closed. The voice of the gatekeeper informed the High Lord the daughters of the Emperor recognized only the authority of the God Emperor himself, and would open their gates to no man. Vandar's attendants cringed in anticipation of an explosion of rage, yet uncharacteristically, the High Lord remained calm. In a serene manner, Vandar told the gatekeeper that he would prove that he spoke with the authority of the Emperor himself, if they would allow him to enter their convent with but a small bodyguard. The daughters of the Emperor acceded to Vandar's request, and the High Lord and a small group of his retainers were led into the central courtyard. There, Vandar announced to the gathered sisters that he would prove that the Emperor's grace was upon him, and that should he lie, he would be slain. Cavalcade, yeah. Hi, Ruby. Are you talking so adorably? Because this is an ASMR stream. ASMRing. Reminds me, I need to take a break to ASMR. ASMR eat. My other taco. I'll do it after this section, I think. Yeah. Vandar brandishes Rosarius and ordered one of his bodyguards to shoot him. Please stop. I'm crying every time. The man was dumbfounded and fearful of harming his master, but Vandar insisted, forcing his trembling hand to stillness. The guard aimed his last pistol. I'm joking. Aimed his last pistol straight at Vandar's heart and fired. Vandar was consumed in a blinding white light. God, wait, hold on. Okay. I think I'm gonna go back to kind of whispering. Vandar was consumed in a blinding white light, and when the vision of the gathered witnesses had cleared, they saw that he stood unharmed before them. All in the courtyard went down upon their knees, and the daughters of the Emperor proclaimed their fealty to High Lord Vandar. In truth, Vandar had tricked the sisters, gambling that they would never have seen a Rosarius. It was the energy field projected by the generator within the ornate medallion that had turned the guard's shot, and not the protection of the Emperor. Nonetheless, the daughters of the Emperor promised themselves to serve their new master, and at his word changed the name of the order to the Brides of the Emperor. Man, they're hot, but they're stupid. The sisters became Vandar's personal bodyguard, and their skill at arms was enhanced by training in the finest weapons and armor the High Lord could provide. The Brides of the Emperor would stand at Vandar's side wherever he went, and they were both his bodyguards and his executioners. Word of their dedication spread across the world of the Imperium, and none who entered the High Lord's presence would so much as look
Look at him, askance under the silent, watchful gaze of the brides of the Emperor.
Smooch.
Okay. Are you ready for more taco time, chat?
Are you ready for the crunch?
Man, this one's all scrunchy. I lied. Hmm. Wow. Good taco. What I check? Oh, are like Mechanicus like really into like? Are they like really into like machinery? Is that like their kink? Okay, yeah, well, I see. Would Arch get jealous if I reacted to Luet and 09's videos instead of his? Lamau. I was joking. Okay. Taco has been consumed. Zilong, I'm reading the book called Adepta Sororitas page on Warhammer Wiki. Okay, I'm gonna continue now. The Terran Crusade. Countless millions soon burned in the fires of Vandire's reign of blood. It was during this dark, forbidding time that a reformist sect known as the Confederation of Light emerged and denounced Vandire as a traitor. Led by the preacher Sebastian Thor, the Confederation of Light spread its message of a church dedicated not to politics and the secular rule of the Imperium, but to the compassion and mercy of the Emperor, to a brutalized people only too ready to throw off the yoke of oppression. This is what Barge sent me. This is what I'm reading. I asked Barge to send me something, and this is what I'm reading. Wow. My right eye has been pulsating since yesterday. An orator of supreme skill, Sebastian Thor swayed whole worlds to his cause and turned the tide against Vandire. As Thor's crusade smashed aside those who remained loyal to the Ecclesiarch, the Space Marines and the Adeptus Mechanicus, both of whom had remained largely on the defensive during the Age of Apostasy, were finally able to join forces with Thor and close on Terra. As Vandire's madness had become all too apparent, the Fabricator General, Gustav Hediotrix, of the Adeptus Mechanicus, roused the Senatorium Imperialis to oust Vandire from power. Vandire's answer was to dissolve the Senatorium Imperialis and declare both the Mechanicus and the Adeptus Astartes heretics and traitors to the Imperium. This affront made the Space Marines reconsider their neutrality towards Vandire and the Reign of Blood in general, and at the height of the Age of Apostasy, in 378 M36, an elite Space Marine strike force composed of forces drawn from the Imperial Fist, Black Templars, Firehawks, Soul Drinkers, and the force the Adeptus Mechanicus assaulted the renegade High Lord Gog's Vandire's seat of power. The massive ecclesiarchal palace on Terra. The Space Marines, believing Vandire to be only protected by legions of zealous but ineffective Fraternus and Templar troops, launched one of their trademark lightning drop pod assaults. However, once on the ground, the Astartes found to their dismay that they had grossly underestimated the opposition. Facing them were corps of superbly trained warrior women, clad in power armor and wielding bolters, who fought with a passion remarkable even to their Astartes opponents, and stood the ground to the last woman, fearless and fanatical in the belief that they were protecting the Emperor himself. The Space Marines' assault bogged down as they were pushed back with casualties,
and the attackers were forced to resort to a long, grinding, and bloody siege of the ecclesiarchal palace, complex with quarter neither asked for nor given. For solar months, Van Dyer's army withstood every assault. The madness only ended when Centurion Longinus of the Adeptus Custodes, the Praetorian Guard of the Emperor himself, sought out Alicia Dominica and her most trusted companions, the leaders of Van Dyer's bodyguard. Longinus took them before the Golden Throne and the God Emperor, and though no written histories tell of what transpired there, it was evident that some great truth was passed to Dominica and her fellow warriors. When they emerged from the bowels of the Imperial Palace, they marched with barely controlled fury to Van Dyer's audience chamber. There they found him in the midst of yet another insane tirade, pausing only to condemn him for his crimes against the Emperor. Reportedly, Van Dyer's final words were, "I don't have time to die, I'm too busy."
I don't have time to die. I'm too busy. Wow.
Alicia Dominica drew her power sword and beheaded the High Lord. It is said that at that moment of truth, Van Dyer's Rosarius, which had protected him upon San Lior, now failed him. Its gleaming form cleaved in two by Alicia's blow. The reign of blood was over. One of the most famous quotes in 40k. I don't have time to die, I have many Wiki pages to edit. Dark Angel Daddy Sargon will have Rosa on his hobby stream soon. Huh? What does that mean? The reformation of the ecclesiarchy. Let the word of the Emperor be heard once more, wherever men gather and look upwards onto the stars. Let them know that the Emperor looks back upon them from the golden throne, wherever this benighted galaxy they might reside. Cardinal Blue. They don't have her quote. What quote? Well, in the wake of Van Dyer's downfall, Sebastian Thor was declared the 292nd Ecclesiarch, and the Imperium began the long process of rebuilding. Perhaps the most sweeping of changes Thor instigated affected the military forces over which the Ministorum held sway. What remained of the Fraterus Templars was disbanded, under the terms of the so-called Decree Passive, which forbade the Adeptus Ministorum from controlling any men under arms. Never again would the ecclesiarchy threaten the continued rule of the Administratum. The brides, after resuming their original title of the Daughters of the Emperor, were at a loss as to what their purpose should be after this event, and so the ecclesiarchy took the opportunity to recruit and indoctrinate them into the ranks of the Minas Storm's military forces. Due to their all-female membership, the Daughters of the Emperor did not technically break the ban, and thus the ecclesiarchy was able to circumvent the decree passive strictures. Even if the spirit of Thor's decree was rather blatantly disregarded. This newly formed military force was renamed the Orders Militant of the Adepta Sororitas. The Sisterhood became true defenders of the faith, and a very physical reminder of the power of the ecclesiarchy. Trained to the highest levels possible for humans, and possessed the phenomenal faith in the God Emperor of mankind, Sisters would go on to engage in wars of faith, bringing in the light of the Emperor to parts of the galaxy that had fallen into darkness. During the first years of the Sisterhood's existence, Alicia Dominica, who founded the Orders Militant at Thor's behest, led wars of faith against the alien invaders that had exploited the Imperium's weakness during the Reign of Blood. Sylvana, Mina, Lucia, Catherine, and Arabella, those sisters who had joined her before the Golden Throne, accompanied Dominica. Under their combined leadership, the sororitas were filled with a righteous purpose that the Imperium had not witnessed since the legendary days of the Great Crusade. Countless enemies fell as the armies of the sororitas brought the divine touchment of the ecclesiarchy to the farthest corners of the galaxy, and to this day the Sisters of Battle have stood as faithful and loyal defenders of the ecclesiarchy and the Imperium. Fuck, am I having a fucking stroke? My right eye is like twitching. Me. Probably twitching from too much. Later, Ruby. Oh, is that the quote, Vulture? You have committed the ultimate heresy. Not only have you turned your back on the Emperor and stepped from his light, you have profaned his name and almost destroyed everything he has striven to build. You have perverted and twisted the path he has laid for mankind to tread. As your own decrees have stated, there can be no mercy for such a crime, no pity for such a criminal. I renounce your lordship. You walk in the darkness and cannot be allowed to live. Your sentence has been long overdue, and now it is time for you to die. That's a pretty badass quote. I need to read that again? Why? Was once not enough? I'll continue reading. Convocation of Nephilim. During Thor's reformation,
Hold on. Keep losing the fucking, like, air in my lungs. During Thor's reformation, another organization came into being at the end of the Age of Apostasy. The Ordo Hereticus, formed initially by the Inquisition to ensure that such a calamity as the Age of Apostasy could never again befall the Imperium. Its remit soon expanded to cover not just doctrinal heresy against the Imperial Creed, but genetic and psychic divergence from baseline humanity among the Imperial population as well. Soon after the formation of the Order's Militant, the Masters of the Order Hereticus and the highest-ranked Sisters of the Adepta Sororitas signed the Convocation of Nephilim, a document that bound the Sisterhood to the Ordo Hereticus as its chamber militant. The exact details of this agreement have never been revealed, but some believe it to be linked to the knowledge imparted to Alicia Dominica and her companions before the Golden Throne. That such knowledge could be so dire as to bind the two organizations so formally is testament to the weight of the task with which the Adepta Sororitas and the Ordo Hereticus are burdened. Others believe that the convocation was intended to curb the power of the ecclesiarchy, exploiting the fact that the Sororitas are a loyal and zealous force that could be used to enforce the agendas of the newly formed Ordo, thus the Inquisition's willingness to turn a blind eye to the ecclesiarchy's violation of the spirit of the decree passive. Whatever the truth, those who seek it without the blessing of the highest-ranking members of either organization will find only a slow and painful death in the deepest excruciation chambers of the Ordo Hereticus, or a fiery yet equally painful end at the hands of the Order's Militant of the Adepta Sororitas. We shall continue. The Reign of Blood, late M35 through early M36. Gurge Vandire engineers the ascension. But we're reading through the Wars of Faith right now. The degenerate Ecclesiarch Paulus III then becomes 361st High Lord of the Administratum. Shortly after, Vandire topples Paulus and assumes the mantle of both High Lord of the Administratum and Ecclesiarch. Vandire's reign of blood begins. Almost 14 billion are slaughtered by the Divine Army during the Purge of Lestrade. The daughters of the Emperor from San Lior are co-opted into becoming Vandire's personal bodyguard, and are renamed the Brides of the Emperor. The Reign of Blood culminates in the siege of the Ecclesiarchal Palace, at the height of which High Lord Vandire is executed by Alicia Dominica, the leader of the Brides of the Emperor. The Thorian Reformation, early M36. Sebastian Thor assumes the position of Ecclesiarch. The 4,000 or so surviving Brides of the Emperor become the daughters of the Emperor once more. They are divided between two newly established convents. The Convent Prioris on Terra and the Convent Sanctorum on Ophelia 7. Those sisters still residing at San Lior are transported to the new convents, and the foundations of the non-militant orders are laid. In 288 M36, a decree passive prohibits the ecclesiarchy maintaining standing armies of men under arms. The daughters of the Emperor are officially constituted as the Adepta Sororitas. The ranks of the Adepta Sororitas swell to over 10,000 battle sisters, leading Sebastian Thor to establish the system of orders. The Martyrdom of Alicia Dominica, CA 650 M36. Alicia Dominica falls at the Battle of Freedswide? The Battle of rides Wide's world, surviving hundreds of blows but falling to a single traitor's lasgun blast to her heart. She is declared a saint soon after. Ecclesiarch Aquitus XI formalizes the position of abbess of the Adepta Sororitas and appoints Sister Palmiro of the Order of the Holy Word to the position. Wars of Faith, early M38. During a century in which the power of the Ministorum reaches a peak not seen since the Reformation of Saint Sebastian, 1,000 wars of faith are launched across the length and breadth of the Imperium, and billions of heretics are put to the pyre. Founding of the Order of the Bloody Rose and the Order of the Sacred Rose, mid-M38. An additional two orders militant are formed by order of Ecclesiarch Diasis VI. The Order of the Bloody Rose is founded at the Covent Sanctorum in honor of Saint Mina. The Order of the Sacred Rose, founded in memory of Saint Arabella, the last of the 6 sisters to enter the throne room, is formed at the Convent Prioris. The San Leon Massacre, 799 M41. The Red Corsairs strike force invades San Leor, the original homeworld of the Daughters of the Emperor. The Chaos Space Marines are unprepared for the fury of the Sororitas reprisal, as they come under assault from 9 separate orders militant and are utterly annihilated with a combined counterattack. The Battle of Fire and Blood, 833 M41. During the Vinculus Crusade, Black Templar Space Marine chapter joined forces with the Order of the Bloody Rose to purge the heretical warrior cults of the Pelagon cluster? There you go. A War for Piety, 835 M41. The Shrine World of Piety rematerializes after being swallowed by a warp storm 2 centuries earlier. Sorry. The planet is, however, almost unrecognizable, having transformed into a hideous demon world. Canoness Saria of the Order of the Sacred Rose immediately leads a force of battle sisters to the planet to retrieve artifacts from the Reliquary of Hope. One of the few sites in the whole world to have withstood the corrupting touch of chaos. As the rest of her forces establish a formidable perimeter around the Reliquary, Saraya leads several Celestian and Dominion squads into the labyrinthine corridors beneath it. For 3 centuries, Canoness Saria and her sisters battle through monster-infested passageways. Bolters cut down scores of blood-hungry demon hounds, and flamers burn swaths of nurglings and bloated plank beasts. Only Saraya and 2 Celestians survived to rejoin the battle sisters on the surface, having recovered the left thigh bone of Saint Dolan and 3 pages of the ominous Lexicon of Falsehoods from a stasis vault. Surviving battle sisters withdraw to orbit with their prizes just as a fleet of Grey Knight's vessels arrived and lay waste to the planet with cyclonic torpedoes. The War for Piety sounds like it would be a really badass dungeon crawler game. I'm just saying. The Defense of Dimamar. Dimamar? Yeah. 858 M41. A note, for some reason Dark Eldar loved collecting Sisters of Battlefinger bones as jewelry. Interesting. Also, you don't have to tag me. Mithrin, when you tag me, it just shows up as a second message. It doesn't look any different to me. How it looks on screen is exactly how it looks to me. It's completely pointless to tag me. It probably only looks different to the people that are looking at the Twitch chat. Ow, my fucking knee. Now I understand why everyone loves the 40k TTRPGs, even if they aren't very good systems. Yeah, dude, the lore is badass. The Defense of Dimimar. 858, M41. Dimimar, birthworld of Sebastian Thor, comes under attack from the Eldar of Craftworld Uthway. Without any warning or apparent reason, Seraphim Superior Imelda of the Order of the Bloody Rose immediately retaliates, leading her squad of Seraphim in a daring attack to slay the enemy commander. Farseer Coerith? The Seraphim's pistols blast a bloody path through a score of black-clad Eldar before the sisters are engulfed in a hurricane of psychic lightning. Though many of her companions fell, Imelda refuses to yield and defiantly advances through the Eldritch Storm. Slaying the Eldar Farseer with a single bolt round to the head. The Blood-Tide Martyrs, M76, M876, M41. Chaos comes to the Basilica of St. Mariel on the world of Van Horn in the shape of a bloodthirster known as the Lord of the Blood-Tide. The first to oppose the demon's legions are the Battle Sisters of the Order of Abon Chalice, but soon after battle is joined, all contact is lost with the Adepta Sororitas. The demons are eventually vanquished with the arrival of the Fourth Brotherhood of Grey Knights. Upon their victory, contact with the Imperium is re-established, and it's discovered that every battle sister on the planet has been killed. The slain are officially elevated to the ranks of honored martyrs in the eyes of the Sisterhood. The Slaughter of Sanctuary 101, 897 M41. On a world in the Vidar sector located in the eastern fringe of the galaxy, the Order of Our Martyred Lady had founded a fortress convent designated Sanctuary 101. The isolated convent had the misfortune of being the Imperium's first recorded contact with the Necrons, where the Battle Sisters were massacred by Necron raiders. Video logs recorded a furious battle between the valiant Sisterhood and the Necron warriors. But little of worth was displayed, as there appears to have been an artificial disruption introduced into the recordings. Subsequent investigations into the site of battle revealed nothing more than the mutilated corpses of the Adepta Sororitas, eviscerated in a hideously surgical manner. No signs of the true nature of Sanctuary 101's undying attackers were ever found. Ow, my fucking fingers. The Battle of the Penitent, 938 M41. The Orders of the Valorous Heart and Ebon Chalice suffer great losses against Warboss, Black Axe's orcs, and are pushed back to the walls of the Cathedral of St. Dufaux. Dufox. Let's say Dufaux. St. Dufaux. The attackers are held back only due to the unyielding determination and sacrifice of hundreds of sisters Repentia. However, their martyrdom buys time for the Battle Sisters to open the vast cathedral gates. The greenskins are slaughtered shortly thereafter as 24 penitent engines rampage across the battlefield, staining it with orc blood. Promethean War, 980 M41. The Order of the Ebon Chalice reinforces Space Marines of the Salamanders chapter, who are engaged in a brutal urban war against the dread Black Legion on the world of Helatine. The enemy is put to the torch as dozens of emulators and Land Raider Redeemers burn a path through several war-torn cities. Despite the strength of their combined forces, the Imperium's advance is halted when Lord Galastix, the Demon Prince leading the forces of Chaos, unleashes a legion of possessed Chaos Space Marines. As a frenzied Chaos horde rips through the Imperium's ranks, Battle Sisters and Space Marines fight back to back, their bolters and flamers defiantly blazing away as every warrior endeavors to sell their life dearly. However, the Allied forces are saved when Saint Celestine appears, falling upon the Chaos horde like an avenging angel. The living saint carves a bloody path through the baying horde towards Lord Gralostix, before plunging her fiery blade through his tainted heart. With the death of Gralostix, the Chaos horde is banished into the warp, but of Celestine there is no sign, for she has vanished as mysteriously as she appeared. Oh, could you guys hear that? That was my throat. My visit to the doctor yesterday revealed that apparently I have it's okay, Mithrin. Did you get copyright approval for this? It's a fucking wiki page. What do you mean? It's a wiki page. Dog. But yeah, my visit to the doctor yesterday revealed that apparently I have acute asthma. And that's why I'm having issues breathing. That hasn't stopped GW from suing before. I'm sure it's fine. I'm a tiny baby creator. Fun fact, Rosa has barely been introduced to 40k and yet is still more accurate than One Mind Syndicate Lamau. Is joking. We'll try to do ridiculous things like trademark the word Poltrons. Came after Arch because he used to have the word Warhammer in his channel name? Yeah. Remember, Arch told me about that. Okay. The Martyrdom of Praxides, 991 M41. Canonus Praxides nuts, sorry. Of the Order of Our Martyred Lady, reinforces the Imperial Guard on the cardinal word of Ocassus, soon after the start of the Second Tyrannic War. As the Tyranids of a Hive-Cleat Kraken assault the Ecclesiarchal Cathedral, the combined fire of Retributor squads and Exorcist tanks obliterates the first wave, but the second manages to breach the cathedral's fortress walls. As Tyranids pour through, Praxides confronts a monstrous Hive tyrant. During the fighting, the Canoness dealt a mortal blow, but even as her blood pours onto the floor, Praxides summons the strength to land one final blow, caving in the Hive tyrant's skull with a thunderous strike from her power mace. With the tyrant's destruction, the Tyranid swarm loses all direction. The Battle Sisters waste no time in pressing the assault, determined to avenge the death of their beloved leader. Such is the fury of the counterattack that the remaining aliens are swept aside, buying the time needed to evacuate the Ecclesiarchy's priests from Ocassus. The Third War for Armageddon, 998 M41. The Orders of the Ardent Shroud and Our Martyred Lady stand among the Imperium's defenders
as Gazkul Thraka invades the world of Armageddon once more. In the initial orc assault, the Battle Sisters' positions were attacked by large orc submersibles, which emerged from the boiling sea. Caught unawares by the audaciousness and sheer ferocity of the Greenskins' attack, many of the Battle Sisters were slain. The Battle Sisters were the front line of defense for Hive Tempestora, but their battle lines soon were overrun. This enabled the vile Greenskins to take control of the Hive cities under Hive within only a few hours. With each successive wave of orc attacks, the sisters were continuously pushed back, until finally they found themselves with their backs to the great armored doors of their sanctorum. It was there that the Battle Sisters made their final heroic but futile stand against the encroaching orc hordes. This day became one of the darkest within the Order's history, as their battle lines crumpled and they were scattered. Those few sisters that survived the final assault attempted to form their lines again, but were cut down by the massive green tides of orcs. After an hour of savage fighting, no humans were left alive as the vile orcs took Hive Tempestora and the Sanctorum. After this defeat, the Order could barely field 3 whole companies. The loss of their Sanctorum and the many valiant sisters who had fallen was acutely felt throughout the rest of the Order. Many novices began questioning their faith in the Emperor. Those Battle Sisters that remained recovered quickly, swearing mighty oaths of vengeance against the foul Greenskins, and vowing to retake Hive Tempestora, no matter the cost. But before they could do so, the surviving Sisters of Battle were spread across the rest of the planet to help solidify key Imperial positions. Their presence proved pivotal in preventing the orcs from overrunning several areas of Armageddon. Organization. It's a good place for a mini break. I chew on a gummy. Helps soothe my voice. How you find the lore, Rosa? Blink once for long, blink twice for tedious, blink thrice for your own opinion. Pretty interesting. Scratch! Meow hiss? Chicos, that's funny. Hold on, I gotta go change my pants. All this reading about sexy battle women is I'll be right back. You know, I said that as a joke, but in hindsight, the real reason might be funnier. I spilled some pussy on my pants. Hi, Exithoth. I think they might want to be called the Green Guys. They still sell pussy energy drinks over there? No, I have to order them from Amazon. They only sell them in Europe.
Oh hi, I just want to remind you to drink your fucking water today.
I'll drink some pussy instead. I really should get water. I didn't have any water yesterday, I only drank pussy. You know what, yeah, I'm gonna get some water. I'll be right back. No problem, I don't have any water in my house. But in hindsight, I think that might be why my eye is twitching. I've only drank pussy in the last like 2 days. I've not drank any water. I'm gonna order some water. Hmm. Hi, Pranam. Aramek boy. Look at the pasta. Man, they don't have the soul soy like. Ouch. I'm gonna keep reading now. Organization. In the 41st millennium, the Adepta Sororitas is part of the ecclesiarchy and is divided into two convents. The convent Prioris, located on Terras, and the convent Sanctorum is based on the shrine world of Ophelia 7. The overall commander and spiritual leader of the entire Sisterhood and all its myriad orders is the Abbess Sanctorum, leader of the convent Prioris on Holy Terra. As the recognized leader of Adepta Sororitas, the Abbess Sanctorum is sometimes elected to join the ranks of the High Lords of Terra, while other times she is subservient to the commands of the reigning ecclesiarch. The convents of the Sisterhood are organized into several orders. Each order follows the same basic hierarchical structure. An order is led by the most senior canoness, called the Canoness Superior, who commands and administrates the entire order. Each Canoness Superior is subservient only to the will of the Abbess Sanctorum. Preceptory. A preceptory contains a single convent with up to 1,000 sisters, so an Adepta Sororitas preceptory is equivalent in size to a Space Marine chapter, and is led by a sister with the rank of Canoness Preceptor, or Prioress. Commandery. A commandery normally comprises several smaller convents or detachments of orders militant sisters from a single convent with up to 200 sisters of battle, commanded by a canoness commander. A commandery is more or less equal in size to a Space Marine company. Mission. The smallest organization unit of the sisters, a mission consists of a few sororitas units and can be led by a canoness or a lesser rank of paladin. Hierarchy. Unlike the many chapters of the Adeptus Astaris, the Sisterhood is united into a single organization with a centralized ruling body. The overall head of the Adepta Sororitas holds the rank of Abbess Sanctorum and is elected from and by the leaders of all the orders beneath. Beneath the Abbess Sanctorum are two Prioresses, one leading each convent, and below these the Canonesses Superior of each individual order. Hi Juliana. Hi Smudgy. Stars? Not Astartes? Are you sure it's not Adeptus Astartes? How a day in the Inquisition is? Not really. Well, maybe. I don't know. I don't think I would last a day. I'd perform some form of heretical act and then I'd get slain by many beautiful women. Astartes? Yeah, okay, cool. Adeptus Astartes. Yeah. There exists a hierarchy of sorts among these leaders. Though to outsiders it is highly arcane and ritualistic, and based on a system of precedence. Orders that were established by ecclesiarchal writ are ranked higher in the order of precedence than those that were formed by a group splitting off from a pre-existing order. Especially visible in the 6 orders militant majoris, each of which has spawned dozens of far smaller lesser orders militant. The canonesses superior, of which rank lower in the order of precedence than those of their parent organization. The canoness superior are aided in their duties by the order's palatines. These are highly experienced and capable officers, from whose ranks the next canoness superior will be drawn. It is the paladins that often lead missions in the field, whether the order is an order militant fighting the enemies of mankind or an order hospitaller establishing a hospital at the front lines. Hospitaller? Okay. Below the palatines are essentially the non-commissioned officers known as the Sisters Superior, who lead or supervise groups of their sisters in whatever tasks the order in question is focused upon. Members of the Adepta Sororitas can and do transfer from one order to another, depending on their own unique skills and experience. In particular, a sister of an order militant may eventually transfer to a non-militant order to carry on the Emperor's work, should age or injury render her less effective a warrior. Furthermore, it is not unheard of for a senior member of the Sisterhood to transfer to another organization entirely. Several canonesses are known to have become inquisitors, one a cardinal palatine and one even a rogue traitor. Specialist formations. Sororitas Command Squad. Sororitas Command Squad is formed from the ranks of the elite Celestians. For only the most dedicated and distinguished Sisters of Battle are granted the privilege of forming their leader's bodyguard. Having earned their scars and proven their merit on scores of battlefields, the Celestians of a Sororitas Command Squad are given the honor of carrying the sacred standard of the Order into battle, or of safeguarding a revered relic. Perhaps the bones of a long-dead saint or an icon believed to have been touched by the Emperor himself. During the course of a campaign, a Sororitas Command Squad may also be accompanied by sisters from another non-militant orders, who act as advisors and specialists to the canoness. These sisters are commonly from the order's dialogus, skilled orators who amplified voices can embolden the spirits of nearby troops. And the order's hospitaller, with her Cherugian's tools, the medical administrations from a sister hospitaller can staunch the bleeding from mortal wounds and purge many lethal poisons from a warrior's bloodstream, allowing the battle sister to return to the fray despite grievous injuries. Come back with your shield or on it? Yeah. Sisters Repentia. Confession and prayer are as much a part of Battle Sister's everyday existence as bolter drills and military discipline. Those who fall short on the Sisterhood's rigorous codes are subject to many punishments, but in the more serious of cases, the transgressor may be exiled from their order. These warriors, known as Sisters Repentia, are each cast out with only a handful of rags, a hood to cover their face, and a ceremonial eviscerator with which to strike down the Emperor's enemies. Sisters Repentia band together into groups to seek redemption in the fires of battle, and they are led to war by a Mistress of Repentance, a harsh warrior who drives her charges onward with a pair of neural whips. The Mistress judges each exiled sister's deeds, and occasionally, at battle's end, she may declare her sins atoned for. Although extremely rare, those few who return to the fold of their order are held with great esteem by the Sisterhood. To the Adepta Sororitas, those who seek forgiveness in the Emperor's eyes by treading the path of a Sister Repentia, occupy a state of grace that many aspire to, yet few ever attain. Indeed, some Battle Sisters willingly exile themselves, finding fault in the smallest imagined transgression in order to join the ranks of the Repentia. These sisters are possessed of a righteous zeal that knows neither pain nor fear. They will die when the Emperor is ready to accept their souls, and not a moment before. These sisters' maniacal fervor inevitably means that they martyr themselves fighting against the most hopeless odds, finding in death the absolution denied to them in life. That's metal as fuck. Wow. Ranks of the Adepta Sororitas? The whips? No. Just like exiling yourself? Just to kind of like... I don't know, dude. I think it's kind of metal, you know? You would exile yourself, put yourself through a bunch of shit, just so you can come back stronger. And more devout. Yeah. Kinda badass.
Ranks of the Adepta Sororitas. Command ranks. Abbess Sanctorum. The Abbess Sanctorum is the leader of the convent Prioress on Terra. She is also the overall spiritual leader of the Sisterhood. In military matters, she is assisted by the Prioress of the Convent Sanctorum. In the centuries following the Age of Apostasy, Saint Alicia Dominica led the Adepta Sororitas as founder and overall patron. Her martyrdom at the hands of the heretics of Friedwide's world left a great void in the organization, which experienced a temporary crisis as no leader felt they were able to adequately follow in Dominica's footsteps. Eventually, the Ecclesiarch Equidius IX intervened. Equidius XI, intervened and ordered the leaders of each order to select one of their numbers to lead. After many weeks' debate, the leaders agreed by majority that Sister Palmyra of the Order of the Holy Word was most suited to take up the rank of Abbess Sanctorum of the Adepta Sororitas. However, Sister Palmyra was an exceptionally humble woman and declined to lead, stating that it was her intention to depart on a pilgrimage to San Leor, and that she had no desire for rank and privilege. After much debate, it was agreed that Sister Palmyra should complete her pilgrimage, but that she would take up the rank of abbess upon her return, and regard it as a welcome penance. Palmyra agreed to these terms, and after barely a standard century, the tradition of electing the candidate who least desired the rank of Abbess Sanctorum to the post became commonplace. That she should regard it not as a privilege, but as a penance, and that she should undertake a pilgrimage to San Leor before taking up the position. This tradition was maintained for most of 4 Terran millennia, until the election of Sister Sabrina of the Order of the Ermine Mantle. Unfortunately, Sabrina disappeared whilst on her pilgrimage and never returned to Terra. The last sighting of Sabrina and her entourage was on the ocean world of Habron IV, and though it is not known whether she fell prey to attack or some other misfortune, the Sisters of the Order of the Ermine Mantle have embarked upon at least a dozen missions to locate her. Until she is found on her fate determined, ecclesiarchal law dictates that the post of Abbess Sanctorum of the Adepta Sororitas must remain vacant. Prioress. A prioress is the overall leader of a single convent of her order. There are generally only 2 in the prioress of a convent sanctorum of Ophelia, 7 in the prioress of convent prioress on Terra. Canoness. A canoness is an overall senior commanding officer of one of the orders militant, each a veteran warrior of many hundreds of battles who has risen to her position through a combination of strong leadership, shrewd tactical genius, and sheer overarching faith in the Emperor. Though she is ostensibly answerable to the prioress of her convent, a canoness's superior knowledge of battle inevitably holds sway concerning military matters. There are several subdivisions of this rank, including Canis Superior. Canis Superior serves as the overall leader of an entire order. Canis Preceptor serves as the leader of a single preceptory of sisters. And Canis Commander. Canis Commander serves as the leader of a commandery. Palatine. A Palatine is a junior officer rank utilized by the Adepta Sororitas. Though not as senior in rank as a prioress or canoness, they are nevertheless experienced and fierce warriors who lead and inspire their fellow battle sisters in combat. More standard ranks include the Legatine. The Legatine is among the highest ranking sisters in any order of the Adepta Sororitas. The most skilled of warriors, healers, and the greatest spiritual leaders of the Sororitas possess. They inspire great devotion in those that follow them, and are political powers in their own right in the Imperium. Most Legatines go on to serve as Canoness Preceptor, Prioress, or even as the Canoness Superior of their order. Sister Superior. A Sister Superior is essentially a non-commissioned officer who leads a single squad of battle sisters, and is thus equivalent to a Space Marine Sergeant, though the ranks is used by sisters in militant and non-militant orders alike. The senior non-commissioned rank is held by battle sisters of Sister Superior rank that have been singled out and nominated for the honor by their fellow sisters, recognizing those who possess the ability to lead.
Sister Superior are inspirational leaders, acting in the forefront of the Adepta Sororitas work, demanding unflinching obedience to the rule of the Sororitas and unwavering faith in their subordinates. They're often given command of forces on the battlefield, field hospitals in active war zones, or particular missions of investigation, as the purpose of their individual order or the Inquisitor they serve warrants. Sister, the lowest rank of the Adepta Sororitas, a sister has fully accepted the rule of the Adepta Sororitas and taken her vows to the Emperor. Novitiate. A novitiate is a candidate for the Sisterhood who has simply to take her final vows to be recognized. Final vows to the Emperor to be recognized as a full sister. Cantus. By the time a novice sister reaches the rank of Cantus, she has mastered the fundamentals of her duties and may have already been chosen to serve within a particular order. But the Adepta demands that each sister know the fundamental skills of all orders, so she can be a multi-purpose tool in the Emperor's hand to cure, learn, counsel, or kill. It is as a Cantus that she will train her hands in these skills before being assigned her final place in an order. Constantia. In the final stages of novitiate, before they are raised to the full rank of Sister Adepta, the novice's learning encompasses the use of the chamber militant's sacredly ordained weaponry such as the bolter, and resistance to the deceits of heresy. At this rank, the sister confirms her complete devotion to the Imperial Creed. And lastly, Novice. This is the lowest rank within the Adepta Sororitas. The rule of the orders is harsh, and a novice sister must endure many hardships during her training. Self-denial, rigid discipline, and religious contemplation are indivisible parts of her training. They are armed not only with skills needed to defend the Adeptus Ministorum, but also with training that teaches them to fan the flames of their faith into a roaring blaze. Bolter is kind of like a grenade launcher combined with a submachine gun. Interesting. Orders Militant Tactical Specializations. Celestian. Celestians are battle sisters who have proven themselves above and beyond the call of duty.
Call of Duty, call out. Duty, Call of Duty. She said Call of Duty.
Beyond the call of duty and their devotion to the Emperor during battle, the most experienced battle sisters are granted the honorific of Celestian, marking them out as highly skilled veterans of hundreds of engagements and combats who often serve as bodyguard units for canonesses and palatines. Celestians are the equal of any other fighting force humanity has to offer, other than the transhuman space marines. They are greatly skilled, tactically experienced, and resolute in their faith in the God Emperor. The senior Celestians in any order are called Celestian Superior, and they aid the Canoness Superior with the day-to-day runnings of the order. They specifically act as administrative liaisons between the Sister Superior and the individual squads. Sister Superior of individual squads in the Canoness, and may even lead battle sisters into combat when the Canoness is otherwise engaged. Seraphim. Only the very best battle sisters are able to join the ranks of the Seraphim, the elite warriors of the Orders Militant. Seraphim receive special training and equipment and are equivalent of assault space marines. A Seraphim squad is comprised of sisters of battle who are trained in using jump packs. They have the ability to fire 2 bolt pistols simultaneously, making them experts at close combat. Seraphim squads are deployed as a fast attack squad with the Sisters of Battle. The squad can be accompanied by a Sister Superior. Occasionally, Seraphim carry a pair of hand flamers, a single-hand version of the regular flamer, or inferno pistols. That's kinda cool. By the way, am I being too loud for ASMR?
Should I be more quiet?
Or is this fine? No? Ethan, why are you responding on both sides? Pick one. I see both. Mine? Retributor. A Retributor is a standard battle sister who is outfitted with their order's heaviest weaponry. Believing that the Emperor himself guides their aim, these sisters annihilate the Ecclesiarchy's foes with overwhelming firepower. Retributors are commonly armed with heavy bolters to provide long-range support to squads of battle sisters, cutting down hordes of enemy infantry with a staggering rate of fire. However, in the close confines of urban warfare, or where the foe are wont to shelter behind armored bulwarks, Retributors prefer to rely on heavy flamers, unleashing searing infernos that burn their opponents out of cover and reduce them to charred corpses, finally completing the holy trinity of bolter, flamer, and melta weapon. Retributors are also adept at wielding deadly multi-meltas, whose roaring thermal blast can reduce the mightiest of battle tanks into molten slag. Eat a hot wing and do it in ASMR? No. Drop R34 pamphlets on the Emperor. Oh no. Dominion. A Dominion is a standard battle sister who utilizes specialized weaponry such as storm bolters, flamers, and meltaguns. They are among the Order's most aggressive warriors, driven by the need to destroy the Emperor's foes. Though their training has tempered the worst excess of their impetuosity, Dominion still yearn to fight at the fore of any Sororitas attack. As such, the Order's militants maintain several units who are almost solely comprised of such warriors. Dominion squads are the Sisters of Battle shock troops, and they are primarily tasked with leading the vanguard of Sororitas assaults, breaking through enemy front lines, destroying heavily defended fortifications, and blunting the spearheads of any counterattacks. Elohim. As battle sisters advance and gain both in skill and experience, they are granted the mark of Elohim, meaning that they have willingly shed blood in the Emperor's service. Militant. The Sisters of the Order's Militant are the elite and merciless fighting arm of the Adeptus Ministorum and the Ordo Hereticus, and they are eternally vigilant and ceaselessly loyal to the Imperial Creed. This is the first rank earned by a battle sister, beyond the most basic, after having begun combat operations with their order. Battle Sister. The Battle Sister is the most basic rank of the Sisters of Battle, achieved after a woman has completed her training as a novice, taken her vows to the Emperor, and has been assigned to a militant order. Sororitas Acolyte. Due to the close ties between Ordo Hereticus and the Adepta Sororitas Order's militant, it is not uncommon practice for these sisters to serve the Inquisition as acolytes, for some part of their vocation. Sororitas chosen by their superiors for independent or detached service in this way are often among the most capable and self-sufficient of their novitiate class, deemed strong enough to endure the rigors and perils of such duty. These sisters often return to the Sororitas even firmer in their convictions and honed in their skills. Sororitas that survive long-term duties with the Inquisition are a very valuable asset for the Adepta in their war against heresy and faithlessness, and are often destined for future high rank. Order's Famulus and Dialogus ranks. Nuntiate Advance. The rank of Nuntiate or Messenger is foreign to those among the Order's Famulus and Dialogus who excel not only in their crafts but who are also noted for their skills in leadership and experience at dealing with the Imperium's hierarchy. Such individuals are often entrusted to act on their own to represent the Order, or are tasked as close advisors to highly important individuals such as Inquisitors and Imperial Commanders. Dialogus Advance. A Dialogus Advance is a rank of the Order Dialogus, the sisters who focus their attention on the arts of the scholar, serving as translators and expert advisors for imperial and planetary authorities in many fields. The armor of their faith makes them far less subject to petty corruption or hubris than others. The arts of the Dialogus are of obvious use to both the Adeptus Ministorum and most particularly the Ordos of the Inquisition, as they are expert at unlocking hidden codes and obscure references, tracking the faintest hint of heresy and delight. Famula Advance, a rank common to the Sisters of Orders Famulus, who devote themselves to diplomacy and the fine arts of negotiation. Wow, sorry. I had to like cough something up. Where was I? They are experts at dealing with the different Adepta of the Imperium and broker alliances and agreements between factitious power blocks, guilds, and noble houses of many different Imperial worlds. Their primary goal is to preserve the Imperium's order and stability and ensure that those who rule or uphold the sinews of Imperial commerce are also working towards this goal. Their task, however, enables them to covertly monitor those they serve for signs of corruption or heresy. Pretty neat. I hate these words, dude. I hate these words. Orders Dialogus is hard to say. Orders Hospitaller is hard to say. Orders Hospitaller ranks. Almonus Advance. This is the senior-most rank of the Sisters Hospitaller. These sisters are as hardened to the horrors of the battlefield as any war veteran. Many of these experienced Hospitallers are called upon by both the Inquisition and the Astra Militarum to put their extensive skills and knowledge of Medicae to darker ends in the service of the Imperium. They're hard to pronounce. Curia Advance, a senior rank of the Sisters of Orders Hospitaller. The Curia Advance has been forged in the crucible of fire and catastrophe, honed by faith and discipline. These sisters' skills encompass not only the healer's arts, but also personal survival, and the stewardship of those under their care in the harshest and most deadly of circumstances. These Hospitallers must know when to heal, when to give the final mercy, and when to watch for the hidden enemy. Hospitaller Advance, a rank of sisters in the Orders Hospitaller who serve as physicians and offer palliative care at the front lines of the Imperium's many war zones and disaster areas. To the common citizenry, they are saintly figures beyond reproach, but they are no more forgiving nor compassionate than the battle sisters of the Order's militant if confronted by heresy or the works of the ruinous powers. By the way, we're about halfway through all this. Arara? Hospital? I don't understand. Eee, a fun read. Hospitalare? That is Hospitaller, pretty sure. Hospitalier? Hospitaller? I think Hospitaller is correct. Unless it's like Spanish and the double L is supposed to be a Y sound, in which case it's Hospitalier. It could be that. It could be a spit a year. Wah. Oh, I was about to check if my water and food were here. Hey yo, new sub, but this time the rare Twitch variant? My mom was handing me a plate. Like an empty plate. I was like, why are you giving me this? I almost dropped it because I was like, oh wait, you actually want me to take this? This isn't just something you're holding? And she was like, yeah, it's so you can pour the sauce onto it so you don't double dip. And I was like, bitch. Why the fuck would I not double dip? It's my fucking sauce. She was like, you're not gonna share it? And I was like, no. If I were to read that in Spanish, it would be hospitaller. Which sounds like saying, like, hospital tire shop. Oh my god, precious water. Give me a sec, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. My water bottle smelled like fish, and not in the like whoever delivered it was handling fish kind of way, but in the whoever delivered it was touching themselves and she belonged to the streets kind of way. That shit woofing. Yeah, let me go wash all this stuff. Hold on. Wow. Hey Dominic. I'm eating Tostitos with salsa. The jar was kind of hard to open, but I'm strong, chat. I got muscles. Muscles. Eating is another form of ASMR, so yeah, I approve this. This is fine, you guys don't mind the crunching. I can do a follow-up stream where you ask Arch silly questions like how to pronounce hospitalier. Wait. Oh shit, sorry. Message Arch. I asked him. I messaged Arch. I asked him, how do I spell hospitaler? We'll see what he says. Massage, not ASMR, turned out to be a very popular one. Wait, what? Oh, Kung Fu massage. Oh. Beating you up until you're unconscious is another form of ASMR video too. What? Hospitalier? Or hospitaler? I'm pretty sure it's an allier. Can you guys hear the crunching? These are really good. Yes? So good. Ah. Okay. Water. And continuing. Recruitment. It is not enough to serve the Emperor, or even to love him. You must give to him all that you had, all that you have, and all you shall ever have. You must give yourself over utterly and entirely to his divine will, and become a vessel of that will. Only then is your sacrifice fitting. From the rule of the Sororitas, the majority of recruits into the Adepta Sororitas are drawn from the Schola Progenium, having been identified by the droll abbesses of those imperial orphanages as suitable candidates from an early age. A few may be transferred from outside organizations. Hiccups. Okay. In particular, the ranks of the servants of the Inquisition, although this is relatively unusual and only undertaken following lengthy consideration. Having been identified as a candidate for membership, the individual is shipped to one of two primary convents on Terra or Ophelia 7, where she will be subjected to a lengthy and arduous regime of testing as a novice intended to gauge her suitability to join the Sisterhood, and to identify which of the orders she would be most suited to. Regardless of which order she will eventually join, all novices undergo extensive instruction in the traditions of the Adepta Sororitas, and most receive at least a modicum of military introduction. Military instruction. Once a novice is judged worthy to join the Sisterhood, swears... Fuck, give me a second. Okay. Swear her vows to the Emperor, and has completed her basic training, the candidates are gathered in the great hall of the convent before canonesses and palatines of the orders to which they will be assigned. Such gatherings range from grand ceremonies involving several thousands new sisters and taking several solar days and nights to conclude, to smaller events where only a handful of candidates gather in at the Great Hall. One by one, the name of each candidate and the order she will join is announced, and the newly elevated sister will be led off to begin her vocation. Once she is assigned to her order, the sister will begin a period of even more rigorous training and indoctrination, which, it is said, will never end until she sits in death at the right hand of the Emperor. Orders of the Adepta Sororitas. Orders Majoris. The famed orders militant or sisters of battle, the Adepta Sororitas pursue the ways of war to spread the Emperor's light. The orders militant are often tasked by ecclesiarchy with defending its shrine and cardinal worlds, or retaking such planets from heretics, Xenos, or the blasphemous forces of chaos. There are literally dozens of different orders militant, with their convents scattered across the galaxy. The Sisters of Battle are also often attached to the Ordo Hereticus of the Imperial Inquisition, and indeed serve the witch hunters as their chamber militant. Battle Sisters are recruited solely from the female progeny who graduates at the Scholar Progenium, facilities spread across the galaxy. That art looks really badass. That looks so cool. They are the orphans of those Imperial servants who have given their lives in the service of the Imperium, either in the Astra Militarum or in some other Imperial Adepta. While being raised within the Schola, they received a strong ecclesiarchy upbringing and education, coming to regard the Emperor as their spiritual father. Progena recruited into the Sisterhood are indoctrinated even further with the strict orthodox doctrines of the Imperial Creed, becoming ever more fiercely devoted to the Emperor and the Imperial cause. Their duty as part of the Sisterhood is to ensure and enforce the physical and spiritual purity of humanity in the department of the Adepta Cetera. There you go. Now I can face this way a little better. As they share much of the same role within the Imperium as the Ordo Hereticus, Battle Sisters often form a major part of the Ordo Hereticus military forces when a witch hunter does not wish to commandeer the forces of Astra Militarum into his or her service to carry out a military objective. There are 6 Orders Militant Majoris in the Adepta Sororitas that are widely recognized across the Imperium. Part of Convent Sanctorum Ophelia 7, we have the Order of the Bloody Rose, the Order of Our Martyred Lady, and the Order of the Valorous Heart. Part of the Convent Prioris on Terra, we have the Order of the Sacred Rose, the Order of the Ebon Chalice, and the Order of the Argent Shroud. Cool. Other sororitas orders are not combat-oriented per se, and pursue less violent activities such as the copying, study of, and commentary upon the Imperial Creed scriptures, preaching. Wah!
I didn't know snakes could bark.
Thank you, Zeta. Thank you for the dono. Arf, 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 arf. Arf, 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 arf. Arf, 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 arf. Arf, arf, arf. Arf, 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 arf. Arf, 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 arf. In a second, let me add that dono to my list. Okie doke. Copying, study of, and commentary upon the Imperial Creed scriptures, preaching, tending to the sick and injured, educating the young, and maintaining the spiritual loyalty and health of the Imperium's various powerful noble families. Orders Hospitaller, the Sisters of the Orders Hospitaller, aid the poor and heal the sick and the wounded in the many hospitals and clinics across the Imperium, operated as charities by the Sisterhood. Some of their hospitals are part of the Imperial Crusades, and the Sisters serve as medics for the Astra Militarum, regiments serving in those conflicts. Several of the more well-known Order Hospitaller include part of Convent Sanctorum on Ophelia 7, we have the Orders of the Eternal Candle and the Order of Serenity. And part of the Convent Prioris on Terra, we have the Order of the Cleansing Water and the Order of the Torch. It is unknown which convent the Order of the Quiet Sorrow belongs to. Orders Famulus. The Sisters of the Orders Famulus organize, educate, and maintain the households of certain Imperial planetary governors and Imperial nobles, serving as advisors, and by their very presence reminding them of their higher loyalties to the Emperor of Mankind. They oppose any disloyalty with the support of faithful followers from inside of the noble household itself. The Orders Famulus also maintain and update extensive genetic and genealogical records for all the important noble families of the Imperium, and can conduct genetic testing at the request of the Inquisition when rampant mutation or heresy on the part of the Imperial noble is suspected. Across the galaxy, the most well-known of the Orders Famulus include, as part of the Convent Sanctorum of Ophelia 7, the Order of the Key and the Order of the Gate, and as part of the Convent Prioris on Terra, the Order of the Holy Seal and the Order of the Sacred Coin. Up next we have Orders Dialogus. The Sisters of the Orders Dialogus help to translate the innumerable dialects and slangs of Low Gothic used throughout the Imperium. At the behest of the Inquisition and certain other parties in the Imperial hierarchy, they also study Xenos languages and translate texts obtained from Xenos artifacts. Sisters Dialogus are often employed as sage acolytes in Ordo Hereticus, Inquisitors' retinues. The better-known Orders Dialogus include, as part of the Convent Sanctorum of Ophelia 7, the Order of the Holy Ward and the Order of the Quill, and as part of the Convent Prioris on Terra, the Order of the Sacred Oath and the Order of the Lexicon. Orders Minoris.
Besides the more well-known Orders Majoris of the Adepta Sororitas, there is also an unknown number of Orders Minoris whose functions are widely unknown. Since their inception, the Orders Militant Majoris have established a number of subsidiary convents throughout the galaxy at sites that are significant to the ecclesiarchy. Sometimes little more than minor garrisons, some of these bases have developed identities distinct from their parent orders over time, eventually becoming separate orders altogether. The better-known Orders Minoris include the Order of the Black Sepulchre, a minor order militant with ties to the former Orpheus sector. There's the Order of the Bleeding Heart. This minor order militant has long been entrusted with the care of the bones of Saint Emmeline upon the Adepta Sororitas shrine world of Emmeline's Hope. Order of the Blue Robe. This minor order militant serves under the auspices of the Convent Sanctorum of Terra. The order aided Inquisitor Halen Gents during the Second Albonian Genocide. Order of the Crimson Oath. This minor order militant took part in the initial campaign of the Achilles Crusade to reclaim the Jericho Reach in 777 M41 from both the Xenos and the Apostate. Order of the Crimson Tear. This minor order militant is believed to have been destroyed in the fall of Zadrokan Unity. Zadrokan Unity. Order of the Divine Lamentation. This minor order militant took part in the Imperial defense of the Cadian sector from the forces of chaos during the 13th Black Crusade. Refused reinforcements despite suffering 83% losses. It's wild. Order of the Ermine Mantle. Hold on, I'm like hiding behind my mic. Order of the Ermine Mantle. This minor order militant took part in the Imperial defense of the Cadian sector from the forces of chaos during the 13th Black Crusade. It is currently undergoing a self-imposed penance after the loss of the Order Militant banner. Order of the Fiery Tear. This minor order militant took part in the initial campaign of the Achilles Crusade to reclaim Jericho Reach in 777 M41 from both the Xenos and the Apostate. Order of the Glowing Chalice. This minor order militant are drawn from the Scola Progenium facility on Vedel 1. They often fight alongside the Militarum Tempestus stormtroopers of the 9th Eoten Gorgonus Regiment, who also possess many members who originate from Vedel 1. Order of the Golden Light. This is a minor order militant of unknown origins. Order of the Modern Countenance. This minor order militant took part in the Imperial defense against the force of chaos during the 13th Black Crusade. Canonist Preceptor Dorothea was commended for the Order's defense of the world of Sancho Panza. Sancho Panza in Spanish is like saying like Sancho's like stomach. Sancho's gut. Not Santo, Sancho. Sancho. Stonk. Just made Don Quixote reference? I think so. I think that's exactly what it is. I think it is a fucking Don Quixote reference. Order of the Virgin Rose. This is a minor order militant of unknown origin. Order of the White Rose. This minor order's militant split from the Order of the Sacred Rose in the latter part of the 39th millennium. At least one convent on Periramunda worked with the Ordo Hereticus on a regular basis. It is unclear whether other convents did the same. The entire Periramunda convent died in a battle against the Tyranids, choosing death to atone for the assistance of the excommunicate Tritorus ordered by Inquisitor Killian upon their world. The mic a little closer. There you go. Sorry, there's phlegm in my chest. Order of the Wounded Heart. This minor order militant took part in the Imperial defense against the forces of chaos during the 13th Black Crusade. Purged by the traitor Astra Militarum Regiment of 366 Barissa Native Auxilia. Other non-militant orders. There are scores, perhaps even hundreds more non-militant orders within the Adepta Sororitas, the vast majority of which are unknown to the bulk of mankind. The following are only a few known examples. Orders Pronatus. These orders minoris specialize in retrieving, guarding, studying, and repairing artifacts of value in the ecclesiarchy. The named orders Pronatus include Order of the August Vigil, one of the orders Pronatus. The Order of the August Vigil specializes in the guardianship and defense of holy relics and shrine worlds across the Imperium. They are known to occasionally cooperate with the Order Hereticus, especially in the transport of unholy artifacts and captured prisoners. Orders of the Blessed Enquiry, orders of the Orders Pronatus believed to have been destroyed due to their collection of artifacts related to the Chaos Gods. Order of the Eternal Gate. One of the Orders Pronatus, Imperial records speak of the Order of the Eternal Gate, whose responsibility is the retrieval of ancient or dangerous relics and artifacts for the ecclesiarchy. Orders Madriga. The Orders Madriga provide the all-female choirs that fill the cathedrals with sublime heavenly song in the favored temples of Arch-Cardinal Ignato. Orders Planxilium. The Orders Planxilium form 1,000-strong professionals leading weeping and wailing pilgrims upon the remembrance of high holy days of Veneris. Order Sabine. The Sisters of the Order Sabine accompany the Missionaria Galaxia on missions to rediscover human-settled worlds and to prepare them for reintegration into Imperial society and culture. These sisters specialize in infiltrating primitive societies and introducing elements of the Imperial Creed to the natives. This process can take generations as the sisters arrange royal marriages and act as court advisors. When the Missionaria Galaxia finally arrives on such a world, the local leadership is then primed to accept the spread of the Imperial cult without struggle or strife. Orders Vespila. The Dark Sisters of the Order Vespila are tasked by Cardinal Gregory Hestor with the sanctification of the bodies of fallen kin, and are sometimes called upon to serve as forensic specialists when a throne agent has recourse to disinter a long-dead corpse. Cardinal Hestor petitioned the Order's Hospitaller to populate this order within the Calixus sector. Tasked with the interment of bodies, the Order's Vespila's grey-shrouded ceremonial robes are synonymous with the death of priests. It is unknown why Cardinal Hestor felt it so important to be certain that the bodies of the faithful were properly buried, but rumors abound that he has secret knowledge of a prophecy regarding a long-dead saint. When an inquisitor needs the sister's macabre skills, he calls upon the ecclesiarchy to provide him with the graveyard guards of the Order's Vespila. Now we have a long list. We have a very, very long list of notable Sisters of Battle. I'm gonna eat some more food first. I'm also gonna try to clear my throat. I'll be right back.
Wow. Back. Sorry, chat. A little bit lightheaded. I've been having trouble breathing. Wow. More crunching time.
Oh hi.
Welcome back.
I just want to remind you to drink your fucking water today.
Thank you for the water redeem. By the way, what do you guys think about the new colors for the table and chair? I recolored them for the date stream, and I kind of like the new colors. I might keep them this way for now. I'll probably color them back to normal when I get the new background, or when I start using the new background as Ginny, so that it actually matches the background. But for now, I think these darker colors actually look better with the rosa background.
Oh, what a perfectly lovely idea.
A parody. I can't do it very well right now, but I hope that's good enough for you. I think I'm gonna tease the new background a little bit. No, snakes don't purr, but sneckos do. I'm out. Hey, Stinky Snack, have you embraced Barch as your fluffy lord and savior? Barch is cool. I respect Barch quite a bit. So Arch did indeed respond to me. He said that hospit as in hospitable, and then simply aller, as they were founded to provide lodging and protection for pilgrims traveling to Jerusalem in the Middle Ages. So yeah, hospitaller. I was correct. Going to Barch. I'm pretty confident that so far I've pronounced everything correctly. I think so. I've been reading 40k's Sisterhood lore for a whole 2 hours. Yeah. I've also been taking snack breaks. We're currently crunching on some chips. On some corn chips and salsa. I was gonna get chunky from all the snacking, I wish. We are more than halfway down to the page, according to the scroll bar. We are at Notable Sisters of Battle, which is section 6 out of 13. Well, actually, probably 10. So yeah, we've read through all these. Read through all the history, through all the organization information, through all the ranks, through the recruitment process. We've read about the orders. What's left is to read about the Notable Sisters of Battle, the war gear, so like all of their equipment, their vehicles, their relics, and some canon conflicts. I mean, you can see my mouth move. I wonder if the new models can do that. So what do you know about their war gear? Nothing yet. I know they got flamers and bolters. That's it. Good night, painkiller. Did you know you can play as a Sisters of Battle in the RTS Warhammer 40k's Soulstorm? That's cool. I wish I could enjoy RTS games, but I just don't. Okay. I like the salt off my fingers. Drink some Wawa. Let out a massive burp while my mic is muted. And time to read. Saint Alicia Dominica, patron saint of the Sisterhood, bearer of the Grail of Ages. Founder of the Order. Oh, hold on. Jesus. Okay. Film me next time? No. Y'all are never gonna catch me sneezing. Or burping. Never. Ever. Founder of the Order of the Ebon Chalice, Alicia Dominica is revered throughout the Imperium as both the founder and patron saint of all the orders of the Adepta Sororitas. In the 36th millennium, she ended High Lord Gouge Vandir's reign of blood after condemning him for his crimes against the Emperor and beheading him. Shortly after, under the instruction of the newly appointed reformist ecclesiarch Sebastian Thor, Dominica established the Sisterhood, the orders militant of the Adepta Sororitas, with the sisters divided between the convents of Onterra and Ophelia 7. She herself became the first canoness of the Order of the Ebon Chalice. In 650 and 36, Alicia Dominica fell at the Battle of Friedswald. Friedswald? It's so weird. Why do they call it that? It's so weird. Just give the fucking world a name. Friedswald, surviving hundreds of blows but falling to a single traitor's lasgun blast to her heart. She was declared a saint of the Imperial Creed soon after. Saint Arabella. Saint Arabella is a patron saint of the Order of the Sacred Rose. Although this long-dead martyr never led her order in battle, she was founded in her name. It was founded in her name. She was one of 5 companions of Alicia Dominica, the patron saint and founder of the Adepta Sororitas. She was the last of the surviving 6 sisters to enter the Emperor's throne room when they were brought before him for a personal audience during the Reign of Blood in the 36th millennium by Adeptus Custodes. Arabella disappeared in the late 36th millennium shortly after the death of Saint Mina. Her ultimate fate remains unknown. This is a long one, god I am. Saint Catherine. Saint Catherine is a patron saint of the Order of Our Martyred Lady. Originally, she was the founder of the Order of the Fiery Heart. She was one of 5 companions of Alicia Dominica, the patron saint and founder of the Adepta Sororitas. Known as the Shield Bearer, Catherine was regarded as Alicia Dominica's second in command, and was the bearer of Dominica's Praesidium Protectiva, a large shield said to contain a shard of the Emperor's own personal power armor, which is said to be impervious to physical attacks. Catherine was well known for her fiery determination and vengeful spirit, ever leading her sisters at the forefront of innumerable I can't fucking speak. Okay. Innumerable battles and pursuing the prosecution of numerous wars of faith against heretics in the name of the Emperor of Mankind. She was the founder of the Order of the Fiery Heart. Her sisters came to reflect her vengeful and fiery nature. Leading her order for many decades, she was declared a living saint within her lifetime for performing legendary acts. Eventually, Catherine met her end at the hands of evil men when she was murdered by the witch cults of Menestius. Menestius. So deeply did her sisters mourn Catherine's loss that they renamed their order to the Order of Our Martyred Lady. Unknown to her order, sometime before her untimely death, Saint Catherine visited the world of Sanctus Liz in the Palatine sector. Beneath a shrine in a hidden crypt, she interred her golden power armor and her legendary power sword, the Ardent Blade. These powerful artifacts were found centuries later and retrieved by the living saint, Saint Celestine. Next we got Saint Lucia. Lucia was the youngest of the 5 companions of Alicia Dominica, the founder and patron of the Adepta Sororitas. Lucia went on to become the founder of the Order of the Valorous Heart. In the late 36th millennium, Saint Lucia was captured by recidivists who gouged out her eyes and forced her to endure the death screams of 1,000 innocents and the murder of a number of her own sisters, who remained resolutely silent. Mere days after word of her death reached the Holy Synod, Lucia was canonized as an imperial saint. It's kind of fucked up. Saint Mina. Saint Mina is the patron saint of the Order of the Bloody Rose. Although this long-dead martyr never led in her order in battle, it was founded in her name. She was one of the 5 companions of Alicia Dominica, the patron and founder of the Adepta Sororitas in the late 36th millennium. Saint Mina was martyred by a sanguinary chaos cult. Whilst at prayer in a shrine on Hydrofer. When her body was found along with the shrine, she was surrounded by the corpses of 20 of her attackers, her body covered in their blood. Her personal symbol, the red rose, represents her strong character and her final death. Give me a second, my sister messaged me. Okie doke. Saint Sylvana. Sylvana is a patron saint and founder of the Order of the Ardent Shroud. She was one of the 5 companions. Bro, I'm counting a lot more than 5 people. Am I crazy? 1, 2, 3, 4. Never mind, it's exactly 5. Hush my mouth. I can't count. Good morning, frozen lemon pie. Frozen lemon pie. Saint Celestine resembles a Dark Soul or Elden Ring boss, how she goes around floating and emitting beams of light. Yeah, I can imagine. She was 5 commands of Alicia Dominica, the patron saint and founder of the Adepta Sororitas. She was one of the first sisters to lead the Holy Crusade in the name of the Emperor of Mankind. In the late 36th millennium, Sylvana met her fate at the hands of a death cult assassin. Her remains disappeared whilst lying in state at Convent Prioris. She was declared an imperial saint by the unanimous vote of the Holy Synod of the Ecclesiarchy. Saint Anais. Anais was a living saint that fought in the War of Faith in the Carava system. Saint Anais was placed by Confessor Tertium March. Anais was placed by Confessor Tertium March alongside the Order of the Sacred Rose in the defense of the Order's primary bastion in the same district on the planet Carava 1. When in battle, Saint Anais was imbued with the inviolable aura, a powerful psychic aura which rendered every battle sister in her presence nigh invincible. However, this gift had one flaw, for if the holy shrines used in the blessing of this powerful aura were to be destroyed, the inviolable aura could be rendered impotent. This can make even the living saint subject to mortal wounds and allow her to be slain. Well, this one has a very long... Hey, yo, new follower? Doesn't quite ring the same, does it? Giantess Princess Rekka, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Saint Celestine. Very little is known of the life of the battle sister known as Celestine before she was declared a living saint, other than that she was once a sister Repentia of the Order of our Martyred Lady that fought alongside the multitudes of imperial faithful during the protracted war against the heretics of the Palatine Schism. Celestine was at the forefront of the first wave of the deadliest fighting and was thought to have been killed in battle before the capital city of the planet, Iridian. She fell that day alongside every other Repentia, but despite her defeat, it was said that she accounted for the deaths of over 100 schismatics during the assault. As Celestine's body was reclaimed by her sisters and set among the honored dead, her sisters saw that life still lingered within her, and the light of one touched by the divine will of the Emperor glowed within her eyes, cleansing her body of the blood and filth of battle. The sisters were astonished to find that she stood flawless before them. The next day, the assault resumed, with Celestine at the head of the Imperial forces. The heretics fell within hours as Celestine wreaked her bloody vengeance. She was hailed as the Crusades' figurehead, as the entire sector was scoured of schismatics and those deemed unworthy of existing upon the world of humanity. The Crusades' leader, Lord Ansgar, believed the crusade would reach its conclusion on the capital world of Palatine Sector, but Celestine insisted upon first liberating the small backwater planet of Sanctus Leas. Unknown to all but her, the world was home of the shrine of Saint Catherine of the Order of the Fiery Heart, a holy place visited by that living saint in secret just before her death. Celestine's followers found a broken altar amidst some ruins and were ordered by Celestine to remove it. Beneath the shattered remains, a hidden crypt was found. Barring any from following her, Celestine descended the dusty steps that none had trod in millennia. As the dawn of first light broke above the ruined shrine, Celestine rose from the tomb, borne aloft on a column of divine radiance, and attended by cherubs and doves. She was now clad in a suit of shining golden power armor, and wielded a vibrant blade that none could look upon, the ardent blade of Saint Catherine. Celestine was declared a living saint by Lord Ansgar, and a conclave of the Thorian compatriots shortly thereafter. Saint Celestine was hailed as the hero martyr of the Palatine Crusade, as she dispatched thousands of heretics during the prosecution of multiple wars of faith. The veneration by the Sisters of Battle was miraculous. She was a living saint whom the sisters would follow even unto the very center of the Eye of Terror. Alas, Saint Celestine was lost to the Imperium whilst fighting the renegade war master of 40k's. Many believed she perished during her moment of triumph, yet none survived to give a true account of the battle's conclusion. That was so badass. She sounds so badass. So are you going to talk about the different orders and what they do? Not all are Sisters of Battle. We already did that. We already went through all of that. You missed it. Rosa wants Saint Celestine to step on her. That is true. I want to worship Saint Celestine with my body. Until I become a corpse. I am frothing at the mouth. Why am I in a towel? Someone on the Twitch side probably put me in a towel. But anyway, let's continue. Saint Praxedes. Saint Praxedes of Ophelia 7 was the canoness of the Order of Our Martyred Lady. At the start of the Second Tyrannic War, with a force of battle sisters, she reinforced the Caladinian Imperial Guard on the cardinal world of Ocassus. As the Tyranids assaulted the Cardinal Palace, she led her battle sisters and a company of guardsmen in a gallant counterattack, leading from the front of the fighting. She bested a hive tyrant and broke the Tyranid attack, buying the thousands of refugees fleeing from the conflict the time needed to evacuate the planet. Not content with this success, the canoness pressed deeper into the heart of the Tyranid swarms, leading her small army in a guerrilla war against the armies of the hive mind. The disruption and havoc she wreaked seriously weakened the Tyranid attack on the spaceport, saving even more lives. As the last of the shuttles soared into orbit and safety, all contact was lost with her army. She was the first martyr to the Kraken, and her name is revered all across the Ultima Segmentum. Some claim that she yet lives, fighting on against the dreaded hordes of the Tyranids from within their swarms. Ephrael Stern, known as the Thrice-Born, and the Demonifuge. Ephrael Stern had been promised by her parents before her birth the Adepta Sororitas. She was raised on the planet Antigone's Harbor by the Saint Sabbat Schola Progenium. The Archdrill Abbot of the school submitted the young Ephrael for induction within the Sisterhood and was accepted by Sister Patricia of the Order of the Holy Seal. the novice Stern excelled at her new monastic duties as a battle sister in training. She eventually completed her training and along with 500 other novices took her sacred oaths of adherence at the ecclesiarchal palace on Terra. Sister Stern was then chosen to become a member of the Order of Our Martyred Lady. Shortly after her induction to the order, she was sent to the ecclesiarchy cardinal world of Ophelia 7. While stationed there, her exemplary service record helped... Jesus Christ, this is a long one. Where was I? Helped elevate her to the esteemed ranks of the Order Seraphim within record time. Only 3 years later, she would be ordained as a Sister Superior. Sister Stern was eventually sent on a mission on behalf of the Order to investigate a lost convent of sisters of the Order's Pernatus on the world of Parnas. There, Stern and her sisters discovered what had become of their fellow sisters. A powerful greater demon of Slanesh, a keeper of secrets named Astaroth, had been freed from its bonds and destroyed the convent. He then took the ruined bodies of 700 battle sisters and forged them, body and mind, into terrifying constructs of living flesh known as the Screaming Cage. Though the fallen sisters were forced to share their torment and suffering, the demon failed to take into account that they were also able to inadvertently share their faith as well. As the demon sought to kill the remaining sisters sent to investigate the convent, Ephraim Stern fell in battle. Seizing this one chance, the fallen sisters within the Screaming Cage used their combined powers to bring her back to life, filling her with the full might of their combined faith in the God Emperor and combat the forces of chaos. Once returned to life, the resurrected Stern was told to flee as the fallen sisters hid her presence from the demon and its chaotic servants. Stern's memory of these events was erased. She was the only one who managed to return to her order on Ophelia 7, being the sole survivor of the expedition to Parnas. Man, this one's long. Her sanity stretched to the limit. Her seemingly unnatural power made her the object of suspicion among members of her order, with many of her sisters viewing her as having been corrupted by the ruinous powers. Stern was placed within a holding cell for 4 years until her exact nature could be determined. At this time, she was attacked by a sister who was being controlled by a demon of Slanesh, intending to silence her. But the enraged Ephraim managed to defeat her attacker with her bare hands. This set new events into motion. An inquisitorial investigation under the command of Inquisitor Silas Hand was sent to the Order of Ophelia 7 to investigate the sole survivor of the Parnas expedition. Whilst at the Sanctorum, Stern underwent numerous trials to test her purity and her soul for corruption. Not found wanting during these trials, Sister Stern was declared uncorrupted, was reinstated within the ranks of her fellow battle sisters, and granted her former position of Seraphim and rank of Sister Superior. Inquisitor Hand, not fully trusting Sister Stern, nevertheless took her with him to investigate the former convent on Parnas. During the investigation, the fallen sisters of the Screaming Cage finished their holy work, pouring all of their remaining knowledge and power into Sister Stern to fight the corruption of chaos. Inquisitor Hand sacrificed himself to defeat Astaroth and banish the demon back to the warp. Sister Stern went missing after the second expedition, once again being the sole survivor. Hunted by both the Imperium as well as the forces of chaos, Stern remains aloof from both. She even sacrificed herself, stabbing herself in the heart, to escape the foul machinations of the vile chaos sorcerer Ahriman of the Thousand Suns Traitor Legion. Resurrected once again by the power of the faith within her, Stern finally embraced her power and used it freely for the first time. She has ever been able to use her newfound abilities to defeat a Galexus assassin that has been sent to kill her by the Inquisition. Her current whereabouts remain unknown. That's kind of badass. I like that. I like her story. It's really cool. Helena the Virtuous. Raised from infancy in Ophelian Schola Progenium, Helena proved to be remarkably gifted even during her earliest childhood. Exceptionally intelligent, eloquent, and inquisitive, she was destined to become a high authority in whatever vocation she chose. After 30 years' service in the Order of the Key, Helena had risen to the position of canoness and was responsible for a great increase in the power of the ecclesiarchy. Her efforts did not go unnoticed, and when Prioress of the Covenant Sanctorum died, Helena's was the first name on the ecclesiarch's lips to serve as her replacement. Although Helena's duties are mainly of an organizational and spiritual nature, she has always possessed the gift of involving herself personally at the right moment. As a prioress, Helena is a member of all orders of the Adepta Sororitas, including the Order's Militant, although she lacks the lifelong training of one of the Sisters of Battle. It has been known for Helena to personally intervene in combat when necessary. With her own strict regime of training and exercise, she keeps her aging body in the best condition possible. She is very skilled in the theories of battle. Helena's greatest asset is the holiness and serenity she radiates. Her presence has an underlying strength which reassures others and imbues her followers with an undying love and respect. Combined with her encyclopedic knowledge and shining charisma, these qualities make Helena a truly great battlefield commander, administrator, and politician. Finally, chat, we're gonna move on to war gear. I want more food first, though. Are you guys enjoying the stream, by the way? Are you enjoying the lore? Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Hold up, YouTube tells me Rosa Koodle is live. Who's Rosa Koodle? Rosa Poodle. Rosa Koodle is like you except cooler? What? I thought I'd be your friend. Rosa Doodle. Man, y'all are trying really hard to get me into 40k. I do find it interesting. I just want to see you do more collabs. More collabs. I already do tons of collabs though. Did you miss the lore I mentioned about the Emperor's children? Such the battle scenario? I think so. Okay. We have like about a quarter of this left. Actually, hold on. Okay. Ba-ba-ba. Oh, yeah. I did see that, Mithrin, I did. VTuber and ASMR seem to be the best combo on YouTube in existence. I'm sorry I don't do a lot of ASMR stuff. It's not really my thing. But anyway, war gear. The strength of man dwells in our purity. In our purity of our... In the pure... It's such a weirdly worded sentence. Strength of man dwells in our purity of our minds and bodies, within the potency of our weapons, and the might of our starships. Most of all, it is found in the righteousness of our cause, and our unshakable faith in the eternal God Emperor. Preacher Mihai Kujar. The primary individual weapon of the Orders Militant of the Adepta Sororitas is the bolt gun. Weapons specialists like Dominions and Retributors tend to use flame and heat-based weapons such as flamers and multi-meltas, and other weapons with purifying spiritual effect. Battle Sisters use a form of modified power armor in battle. However, since they lack the black carapace gene seed, organ, implant of the Space Marines, they cannot interface with the armor to the same degree as the Astartes, and are thus are somewhat less mobile in combat. The Sisters of Battle also make use of very strong faith-based powers in battle, which may or may not be related to the psychic powers of the warp. The Sisters believe these abilities are granted by the divine will of the Emperor himself, though they are more likely the psychic manifestations of the Sisters' incredible faith and devotion to him, as the immaterium is shaped by belief. The most common war gear worn by all Sisters of Battles includes Sororitas power armor, commissioned by Goj Vandar. It is the only part of his legacy that was not removed along with his head. Created initially by the Forges on Mars for Adepta Sororitas, this lighter power armor provides excellent protection and increased strength with little to no reduction in movement speed or agility. Similar to the light power armor often used by many Inquisitors, the Sororitas power armor has an extended operating life. Sisters of Battle do not have the advanced black carapace of the Adeptus Astartes. However, the Sisters are trained to use their power armor to its fullest. Wow. Hospitaller carapace armor. Often serving in combat zones, Sisters Hospitaller require more protection than other non-militant orders. The distinctive armor is a welcome sight to the injured guardsmen and acolytes alike, an angel of mercy sent by the God Emperor himself. In addition to its protective qualities, the hooded habit is often coated in incense and unguents, and the rest of the armor is sealed and treated against toxins. Bolt pistol. No information. Godwin's Dance Pattern Bolter. Designed specifically for the Adepta Sororitas and blessed by the canonesses of the orders, these venerated weapons are presented to an Adepta Sororitas upon becoming a battle sister. The Sisterhood considers the venerated Godwin Dance Bolt weapons heirlooms, each one carefully maintained by highly specialized servitors and trusted servants. This pattern bolter has great significance to Adepta Sororitas, not only as a powerful weapon against the enemies of mankind, but also as a symbol of the Emperor's judgment and of the sister's personal connection to her faith. They got frag grenades and crack grenades. Optional war gear. Special issue war gear. Blessed standard. The standards of the Adepta Sororitas are thrice blessed by the prioress of their convent before they march to war. Chaplet Ecclesiasticus, with each bead on the string representative of an act of penance performed by a sister. The chaplet Ecclesiasticus is often worn around the neck or waist depending on its length and preference of the wearer. In some cases, each bead represents 10 or even more acts of penance, going as high as 1,000 acts per bead. The chaplet is combat ready, each bead made of adamantium. Chirurgian's tools, implements of both torture and salvation. The chirurgian's tools can restore the fallen so that they might fight once more. Fleur de lis tattoo, devoted to the ecclesiarchy in mind and body. The Adepta Sororitas often bear tattoos, ritual scarring, or other markings that display their loyalty. The fleur de lis is a symbol of the sisterhood, but a sister might also bear markings of the ecclesiarchy of the Inquisition. In addition, roses, wings, and other order-specific icons might be chosen by a sister. Laud Hailer, proclaiming the power of the Emperor in heavenly tones. A Laud Hailer bolsters the spirits of the faithful. Praesidium Protectiva. Constructed from layers of armoplaz and ceramite, these shields are said to contain small fragments of armor originally worn by the Emperor. They are only found among the Adepta Sororitas, and even then are only issued to those sisters who excel and prefer to engage in hand-to-hand combat. Due to the weight of the Praesidium Protectiva, it can only be used by a sister wearing Sororitas power armor. Rosarius. A rosarius is a gorget or amulet worn by some members of the ecclesiarchy to protect them from physical and spiritual harm. It is believed that the stronger the bearer's beliefs in the might of the Emperor, the stronger the rosarius' force field will be. Simulacrum Imperialis. Some of the most precious artifacts in the possession of the Holy Ordos. Simulacra Imperialis are holy symbols of the ecclesiarchy that were once borne by a saint of the Imperium, or have been fashioned from the bones of a saint. Brought out only rarely, usually when the forces of heresy and the warp are at their worst. A Simulacrum Imperialis is often carried at the forefront of an Adepta Sororitas battle group, considered one of the purest symbols of the ecclesiarchy and the might of faith in the God Emperor. The mere sight of Simulacrum Imperialis is often sufficient to raise the spirit and fighting zeal of any nearby allies. These holy symbols are wellsprings of inspiration and faith, and it is a great honor to carry such an irreplaceable relic into battle. Storm Shield. A storm shield is a large, solid shield that has an energy field generator built into it. Though the bulk of the shield offers physical protection, the energy field is capable of deflecting even the most powerful attacks. Melee weapons. Chainsword. No description required. Neural Whip. These cycle-conductive neural whips are often carried by mistresses of repentance, and are as much symbols of rank as they are vicious weapons that can slice open armor and flesh alike. Whip me, mommy. Sorry. I don't want to. I want to repent. Power weapons. No description. Eviscerator, an obscenely large double-handed chain weapon that is favored by ecclesiarchy zealots, witch hunters, and the Sister Repentia of the Adepta Sororitas. Although very unwieldy and tiring to use, the Eviscerator is fully capable of bisecting an armored man and tearing open the most blasphemously corrupted mutant in a single stroke of its gargantuan blade. It can slice through walls and even damage vehicles. Since it must be wielded with both hands, it cannot be used in combination with other close combat weapons. Ranged weapons include the autogun, the shotgun, condemner bolt gun. The condemner bolt gun is a highly specialized combi weapon used almost exclusively by the operatives of the Ordo Hereticus and the Adepta Sororitas, combining a bolt gun with a single-shot crossbow armature. These archaic-seeming weapons fire a silver stake engraved with sigils of disruption that destabilize a psyker's connection with the warp. Godwin Diaz Stormbolter. The Stormbolter used by servants of the ecclesiarchy are not drastically unlike those used by throne agents, firing bolt rounds at a greatly increased fire rate. Rate of fire. This weapon requires two hands to operate and is essentially two bolters firing in synchronized bursts. Its high rate of ammunition consumption makes the weapon impractical in many situations, but few would argue that the result that such a powerful symbol of faith can have. Combi Flamer, Melta or Plasma Pistol, Seraphim Inferno Pistol. The deadly Inferno Pistol can burn through even the most fortified of structures or armor. It is well known that if one weapon will do, two will do twice as well. The Seraphim Inferno Pistols are designed to work as a pair and can be used while in hand-to-hand combat by specially trained Seraphim. Exorcist Missile Launcher. Though notoriously unreliable, the Exorcist Missile Launcher's volleys are considered by many to be the Adeptus Mistorum's final word in anti-armor firepower. Special weapons include the Stormbolter and the Seraphim Handflamer. Designed for use in pairs, Seraphim Handflamers can spew forth gouts of flame from both pistols at once. In addition, the Handflamers are designed to be used in melee combat and can release small controlled bursts of flame that use negligible amounts of promethium. The weapon can be used both as a ranged weapon and a melee weapon by those who are properly trained. Melta Gun, Melta Bombs. Heavy weapons include the Heavy Bolter, Heavy Flamer, Melta. Gear and tools. There's the Hospitaller Medicae tools. The Order Hospitaller equips its sisters with the best battlefield medicine tools found outside the apothecaries of the Adeptus Astartes. The kit has a variety of sacred oils, unguents, surgical tools, and sterilizers to help those who lay wounded in battle. Reliquary. Reliquaries come in a myriad of forms, such as boxes, caskets, and cases. They are used to contain relics, charms, and holographic images of actual relics. Rules of Sororitas. A collection treatises, litanies, and assorted holy directives. Sarisa. These are heavy spiked blades of Sororitas often attach their bolters in order to allow them to engage in hand-to-hand combat without switching weapons. When mounted on a bolter, a Sarisa counts an axe in close combat. Seraphim Jump Pack. More streamlined and stylized, this jump pack is based off the same technology as those used by the Space Marines. The design has the added effect of giving the Adepta Sororitas the appearance of avenging angelic hosts. The aggressive use of them by the Sororitas has made that design work tremendously well. Aside from the normal usage, an alternate tactic, seen in the reconsecrating of Pilgrim's Pause, was as a lateral boost to redeploy Seraphim strike teams while staying behind cover. Cool. And now we're gonna look at vehicles, chat. Melts as a microwave oven gun. After you've read all Sisters of Battle lore there is in the wiki, I think you would like Clitus Temple lore, Rosa? What is that? The last of the pussy has been consumed. Callus is an assassin order of female shapeshifter assassins. That sounds super cool. I will definitely read that at some point. That sounds so cool. Okay, let's finish this. Adepta Sororitas vehicles. Sororitas Rhino. The Rhino personnel carrier is the most common transport vehicle at the disposal of the Sisters of Battle, allowing units to move swiftly to where they are most needed, be it to seize an objective or strike deep into the heart of an enemy force. This tried and tested vehicle is famously robust, easy to repair, and utilized extensively by the Imperium's most elite fighting forces such as the Adeptus Astartes and the Adepta Sororitas. The Rhino is fully capable of interacting with power armor, recharging power cells, and downloading tactical battle information as troops are transported into the thick of battle. Rhinos, like all Sisters of Battle vehicles, are bedecked with holy symbols and relics, in addition to military insignia denoting squad and order markings. The door hatches of the Order's Rhinos are often emblazoned with the sigil Sororitas, the icon of the Sisters of Battle. Immolator. The Immolator battle tank is designed exclusively to the Adeptus Ministorum. Based upon the ubiquitous Rhino chassis. Immolators carry deadly but short-ranged, twin-heavy flamers that cleanse the battlefield of all but the toughest of foes. The sight of such a tank rumbling into sight has disrupted more than one army battle line, as warriors try in vain to evade an Immolator's fearsome inferno. Sisters of Battle favor bolters, flamers, and meltas to eradicate their enemies. The so-called Holy Trinity of weapons. As a result, some Immolators are armed with a pair of tank-busting multi-meltas instead of the traditional heavy flamers, whilst others mount heavy bolters to cut down enemy infantry formations at range. Immolators are tactically versatile vehicles and the tank of choice for many Sororitas commanders, for in addition to their prodigious armaments, their armored hulls can carry squads of battle sisters, deploying them into vital objectives and then supporting them with heavy weapons fire. The Exorcist. An Exorcist is one of the Adepta Sororitas' unique weapons of war, a vehicle that unleashes volleys of explosive armor-piercing judgment upon the foes of the Imperium. They are, however, unpredictable machines that are only vaguely understood by the tech priests who must continuously service them. Many Exorcists have been in service since the Age of Apostasy, further adding to their erratic nature. The Exorcist missiles, fired by these revered vehicles, are capable of splitting open enemy battle tanks or destroying entire squads of heavy infantry in one punishing salvo, provided, of course, that the Exorcist's temperamental machine spirit does not malfunction. Most vehicles in the Sisters of Battle's armory serve multiple purposes, for in addition to being weapons of war, they are mobile shrines adorned with devotional icons and carvings. The Exorcist is perhaps the most ornate example of this. Each is an individual work of art, whose battlefield role of providing devastating long-range fire support is secondary to its significance as a potent divine symbol of the power and glory of the ecclesiarchy. Penitent Engine. Penitent engines are towering bipedal vehicles that rampage through the enemy's battle lines, leaving death and carnage in their wake. The machines' arm-mounted flamers blaze a trail of fiery destruction that they thunder towards their foes, and their gigantic razor-edged buzzsaws carve through armor, flesh, and bone with every frenzied swipe. To be a pilot of a penitent engine is to have committed a terrible crime, one so heinous that punishment, such as imprisonment, exile, archoflagellation, or execution, is deemed too lenient. Many of the unfortunate sentenced to pilot a penitent engine were once members of the ecclesiarchy. Priests fallen from the grace, or battle sisters who have, through failure or duty of faith, caused the death of their fellows. A multitude of wires and chemical injectors are implanted into the condemned pilot's spines, and when they are not ripping through the ranks of their enemies, lances of pain and images of guilt shoot directly into their brains, reminding them of their sins. Driven by their pilot's frantic need for forgiveness, penitent engines charge towards the closest foe in sight, heedless of any danger, knowing that only in death, theirs or their enemies, can forgiveness finally be earned. Penitent engines often charge into battle besides the ranks of the Order's militant. The Sisters of Battle consider it their sacred duty to witness these great machines in the fires of combat, observing the actions of their fallen brothers and sisters as they atone for the past sins and seek redemption. That is metal as fuck. Holy shit. Ecclesiary relics. I think this is the last bit. Oh, then there's canon conflicts. Yeah, okay. We're almost done, chat. Ecclesiarchy relics. Ecclesiarchy relics are items of incredible rarity, holy artifacts and revered tools of destruction that the Ecclesiarchy will go to any lengths to recover and protect, such as their spiritual provenance, that they are powerful weapons in the hands of the faithful. In extreme circumstances, they will be entrusted to the warriors of the Adeptus Ministorum. Only one each of the following relics can be chosen per army. Blade of Admonition. This blessed power sword is the very blade carried into battle by Alicia Dominica, the founding saint of the Adepta Sororitas, and was famously used to cut the head of the arch-traitor, Gojran Dyer, and bring an end to the Reign of Blood. Saint Dominica wielded this blade in the decades following the reformation of the Ecclesiarchy, and 1,000 more false prophets and heretics were slain upon its razor edge before Alicia's eventual martyrdom. The silver blade was recovered and polished to a mirror finish. It is said that one who looks upon it can see the reflection of their own soul. Those who wield the sword cannot therefore fail to compare their worthiness to that of Saint Dominica, and so strive to emulate her peerless example. Cloak of Saint Aspera. Canoness Saint Aspera of the Order of the Bloody Rose led her battle sisters in a war of faith and liberated nearly 100 worlds from the grip of the blasphemous tyrant, the Nescura. At the inception of the war, Aspera was presented with a magnificent cloak dressed in an ecclesiarchal palace of Terra. Whilst this in itself marked the cloak as a treasured relic, small shards of the Emperor's own armor were woven into it to ward away the blows of the enemy, elevating it to a sacred garment of incomparable spiritual significance. Saint Aspera wore the cloak throughout the War of the Faith, striding into the fray heedless of her own safety, secure in her unwavering knowledge that the Emperor protects. Mantle of Ophelia. The Mantle of Ophelia was once the badge of office for the prioress of the Convent Sanctorum and was worn by Helena the Virtuous, a living saint and one of the most revered leaders in the history of the Adepta Sororitas. The mantle is thought to have sacred powers of protection, for Helena was said to have anointed it with the tears of the Emperor, a phial of blood-like liquid meticulously collected over a century from weeping statues of the Emperor found across the cardinal worlds of the Imperium. Sacred Banner of the Order Militant. Each of the 6 great orders militant possesses a single ancient battle banner passed down through the generations from the time when their order was first created. It is said that several strands of hair taken from each of the order's founding saints are woven into these sacred banners, and as such, their divine provenance is beyond doubt. Each banner represents the heritage and history of their respective orders, and the honor of carrying one is granted only to the most faithful and accomplished members of the Sisterhood. They are proudly born to war, and the battle sisters who fight beneath their shadow are inspired to greater feats of glory, redoubling their efforts and refusing to retreat. Rod of Grace. The Rod of Grace is a melee weapon similar to the Space Marines' Chaplain's Crozius Arcanum, and wielded by Helena the Virtuous in battle. The Rod of Grace is covered with a shimmering force field. However, this field is much more powerful and can be focused into a beam to strike at a distance. Scepter of Vengeance. The Scepter of Vengeance was the huge, heavy power mace wielded by Saint Ophelia in hand-to-hand combat. Its head is wreathed in a shimmering flame which leaves a trail of fiery sparks that swings through the air. And the last bit of stuff to read. Canon conflicts. Until the release of Warhammer 40k's 2nd edition codex, Sisters of Battle, the convent sanctorum was described as being on Terra, with a convent prioress and Ophelia 4. Convent prioress and Ophelia 4. In the 2nd edition codex, Graf Thorpe reverses the locations of the convents. He also changed the name of Ophelia 4 to Ophelia 7. The following statement comes from the Codex Sisters of Battle 2nd edition. A sign of the sisters' strength is the fact that in their entire history, only a single sister, Miriel Sabathiel, has fallen to the lure of chaos. How Miriel fell is unknown, only that she was turned from the Emperor's light to Slanesh worship, and now serves as one of the Prince of Chaos' greatest warriors. However, this is clearly contradicted by the graphic novel Demonifuge, in which a sister was seduced by a navigator who had been corrupted by a demonic servant of Slash, and several sisters were completely corrupted by the Keeper of Secrets, a greater demon of Slash. In the novel Kane's Last Stand, it is also stated that an entire mission of sisters were seen engaging Imperial forces alongside Chaos cultists, and Kane was also confronted by 2 sisters under demonic influence. Those sisters, however, were suffering from mind control, and when these 2 were freed, they immediately killed themselves. Kinda pog. Rose's voice is still calming. She's calming, almost sleep-like. She's a voice actor for it. I mean, I haven't voice acted in a while. Slash is the god of sex and pervertness. Makes sense. She's a nun that fell to the god of sex. It happens. Alright, chat. That's that. We've read through the whole thing. Let's see. I am gonna redirect you guys to another stream I have planned later today. I don't know if we're probably gonna delay it. We're probably gonna delay the stream because Juno wanted to take a nap. And honestly, I kind of want to take a shower. I'm feeling kind of stinky. So, it might be later tonight, or it just might not happen. We might just move it to another day. But, in any case, that is where we're at. So a gift for your next 40k lore stream. I don't know when I'm gonna do another 40k lore stream. Just saying. I wasn't planning to do another 40k lore stream. Okay? Ready. Let me see. Give me just a second. But yeah, Juno's taking a nap, and I don't know if she's gonna be awake in an hour. I told her if she wants, we can move the stream to 8. But yeah, we'll see. So I'm just gonna change the stream time to 8, and we'll see what happens. Yeah. With that, chat, we'll leave it time to end stream. I hope you guys have a very nice evening. Thank you all for hanging out with me and listening to me as I read about the Sisters of Battle. And yeah, have a nice night. Do take care, and love y'all. Bye. Bye. Good chip.